Yo, you tuned in to Guerilla Cross Radio.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to Unnamed Sports Show right here on Guerilla Cross Radio. I'm your host, Quan59. We have a dope, exciting show for you today. I'm hyped up about this. We got a lot of NBA talk we're going to be talking about. We have Week 15 in the NFL, some crazy outcomes. We're going to talk about some rule changes that need to be made immediately. And we're going to talk about Floyd Mayweather talking to the UFC about possibly
We're not talking
to him. We're going to talk about that. Lavar Ball's new basketball league. We have a lot to talk about today right here on Unnamed Sports Show. And we're going to give a full Star Wars The Last Jedi review. So if you haven't seen the movie in the second hour, go ahead and just push mute. Keep the show on live so we get the views. Push mute because we're going to spoil the heck out of this movie. So if you haven't seen it, first of all, if you're a fan and haven't seen it yet, you should have already seen it. It's been out for a week.
But we'll be sure to give the spoiler alert countdown, right?
We'll
give them a 3, 2, 1.
We'll let you know.
It's on you now.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, we'll let you know. So I'm your host, Quan59. I got my man, Steve Hollywood, 1 Foot Huff in the building.
Picture him rolling.
What's good, man?
What's up, man? I like how my name just keeps changing.
Well, this is the second intro for today's show, but nobody knows about the first one, so it will keep changing. And, I mean, you came rolling in. It looked like you were on, rollerblades, but it was actually one of those footstools, whatever it's called.
I don't know who invented that thing, but God bless him. That is an alternative to crutches. I mean, that is the best thing.
Since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. God bless that person with riches. I'll promise you that.
It's strong. I'd never been on one. I got on yours, and
Whoa. We got
walking away from that.
Jerry Josh. Jerry Josh in the building. What's up?
Besides being constantly chastised, everything is good, man. Everything is good. Lakers had a good week, so I had to break out the Laker throwback.
Jerry West. And we got all the way from a galaxy far, far away, Death Star Dave in the building.
Quan, there's no amount of good week the Lakers could have that would get me in a Laker jersey. All due respect to Jerry West, but come on.
It's fine.
He's the logo, man. You got to have respect for the logo.
Sure.
He's a good man.
Sure.
He's a good man. You got something bad to say about Jerry West?
He's an angry man. He's an angry man.
Jerry West is not angry.
Oh.
At this point,
Read his book
if he's an angry old man, he's allowed to be an angry old man. He's old.
It's fine. If I had to be a Laker all that long, I'd be angry too.
Wow.
Oh,
you could be a Thunder.
Yeah, that's worse. That's a lot worse.
You could be a non-plural team.
You could be a non-plural
I hate
team.
that too, by the way.
Thunder,
Heat, Jazz.
I'm a Thunder.
Thunders?
Yeah, there's no
Mom,
answer.
I want to be a Thunder when I grow up.
There's no correct answer.
Maybe thunderstorms? It's all bad.
The
Yeah,
Thunders?
It's real bad.
The Thunders.
Well, especially since Thunder, it's like you have a noise. You have all these things that can't actually be seen. You have thunder, heat, jazz, magic.
Yeah, you can't. Well, you can't physically see heat. You can't physically see thunder. You can see jazz. You can put. I mean,
but you don't see jazz. You see someone
I
playing
mean,
jazz.
Ray Charles.
Well,
Ray Charles begs to differ. He can see music.
If you get high enough, you can see jazz.
Steve was seeing jazz for a week and a half.
Again,
Steve has seen some jazz.
That is on Steve's unaired podcast.
Steve's Vicodin pod.
Steve's special greater show.
His medical marijuana show on February 13th.
Starts 420.
Starts 420. Oh, man. But, yo, we have a big show for you today. A lot happening in the NBA, and we're going to start with the NBA today. We do have Week 15 of the NFL. I think we want to talk about some crucial things that happen in that. But I want to start with basketball today. Let's go ahead. I mean, since you're wearing Lakers, man, I wasn't going to do this, but we'll start with the Lakers.
You're going to do it.
We'll start with the Lakers.
You're going to do it.
It's like a Laker party. It was going to be a Laker party today. All the Laker girls that I invited didn't show up. They have a game tomorrow, so they couldn't come, and I don't have any of their numbers. But both of Kobe's jersey numbers were retired on Monday. Lakers took Golden State to overtime, lost. Second time they took Golden State to overtime, though.
You were beside yourself in our group chat when that game was continuing to be close.
I was heated, actually. Brooke Lopez got hurt. We'll talk about that in a minute.
I thought you turned into me there for a little bit on that.
What did I say? I can't remember what I said.
He went blackout Quan.
Yeah.
I really don't remember even talking about that in the group.
He went Kylo Quan.
Kylo Quan.
Kylo Quan. That's a good one.
Quan Lo Ren.
That's a good one.
And then last night, Lakers come to Houston and beat the Houston Rockets. Harden had 51 points, and Lakers snapped the Rockets' 15-game winning streak.
14
game.
It's all right.
Because they couldn't get 15. I had no faith in the Lakers last night until the game started, and Kuzma was starting the game, which he should be a starter anyways.
It's shocking that Kuzma is not starting every game.
Not shocking. It's stupid.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. But I really think with this injury, with Lopez going out and Kuzma having 38 points last night, he has to be in the starting lineup for the rest of the year.
Tell us your feelings on the injury.
I'm not going to lie.
Lopez.
Brooke Lopez was playing horrible. He has been all year. I don't like a big man that's 7'1", comes out very clumsy anyways, starts jacking up threes at the beginning of every game. Like, you're the 7-footer.
That's what he is, though. He's never been a rebounder. He's never been a defender. He's
a good post.
player.
He's a good post player.
He is.
I don't mind you shooting threes in the second half of the game once you've already established a post game. But these centers that are jumping out in the first quarter, the first 2 minutes of the game, jacking up threes, you're putting your whole offense out of sync.
But who else are they going to start at center? They're going to start Bogut?
Well, that it doesn't matter who you start at center. Don't be the center that's jumping out shooting threes, like calling for the ball at the 3-point line.
Yeah,
but they could start Larry Nance, who dunked on KD really hard.
Not just
in a game they lost.
Not just dunked on. He ruined his month.
He ruined his second.
That ruined.
I think KD's fine.
Hey, look.
Listen,
I saw him last night. He seemed okay.
That was the third time KD got dunked on in the first half of that game.
3 times that game. I posted it.
It just got worse every time.
Yeah.
But KD hit the game winner.
Yeah, he hit the game winner in a game he played another great game in. So
whose face did he smash that on?
Lonzo.
Oh.
Lonzo's 6'4" compared to
6'4". Lonzo's like 6'7".
In Lonzo's defense, though, I mean, nobody is blocking KD's jump shot. Like that's, I mean,
but
nobody.
But you set up the play to get it on their weakest defender, and that's what
yeah.
happened.
I mean, well, yeah. Look, I'm not really defending Lonzo. I'm just saying.
This is what we wanted. This
well,
is the matchup we wanted.
And we could talk about KCP's horrible shot in front of Kobe to lose, in regulation.
Oh my goodness, Kobe got up.
Kobe's like, I'm not watching overtime.
He's like, we don't need to.
And then KCP got put on house arrest the game after that. Didn't get to play in Houston.
I think it was team arrest. I think he's resigned to the El Segundo.
Did Kobe make a phone call after that game?
Shut him down.
But
he just gave Rob Pelinka a look.
The look.
You know what to do.
Did he yell to Mitch Kupchak like he was at that one practice they filmed? Got nobody out here for me. Oh, soft
as Charmin. Yo, Charmin soft. Charmin soft.
So Harden 51 last night. Kuzma 38. What do you think about that game? Chris Paul went out. He's hurt again.
No way.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that part. I was watching the game. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he got hurt in the fourth quarter.
Adductor.
You know, the one thing that kills me, and as much as I hate the Lakers, I find myself against the Rockets. I was actually pulling for the Lakers because as great as he is, I hate watching James Harden play. I hate the way the refs officiate him. I mean, he's great. Don't get me wrong, but there was a play at the end where he got 3 free throws off of Corey Brewer not touching
not even close. No, here's the thing.
He's mastered the head snap. I thought LeBron had that mastered, but he's taken it to a whole nother. He head snaps at the 3-point line.
It doesn't matter what he does. The refs. I text my brother in, I think 6 minutes left in the fourth. I said, "Watch, Harden's going to go to the line 10 times,
and we're going to find a way to lose."
From this time on, Harden's going to the line 10 times on invisible fouls. Sure enough, he went 4 times on invisible fouls.
Oh, I'll be sitting there watching the game at home, and the kids will be looking at me. They're wondering why I'm saying foul. Like, as soon as he has the ball at the top, a little bit beyond the 3-point line, and I see him start making that move toward foul.
And this is what I hate about the NBA. The refs know this player is the player that is going to get fouls in the fourth quarter. So they automatically call fouls.
But he's
James Harden
he is.
Got good off of being able to get to the line anytime he wanted to, traveling, double dribbling,
Because
This
you
is
can't
carrying the
cover him.
ball.
You're
And
not
that's-
allowed to cover him.
And that's why I agree with Dave.
But would he be that good? Because I like Harden a lot.
Hard to say.
I think he's good.
No.
But the calls he gets are more ridiculous than anybody I've ever seen. Even LeBron James doesn't get these calls.
No, but the thing, I think it's taken him to a level that even he's not as good as, just by the fact if you see how people play him, you can't play tough D on him.
Yeah.
Every one of the other great players, I've seen people be able to D them up and get into their body. I know
And
some of
force
them
to do something
some of them
else.
get more calls
Right.
than others. LeBron gets more calls than others. But no one gets calls like James Harden. I mean, this
It's
is like
ridiculous.
this
And
is like the Dwayne Wade Mavericks finals.
Every
Every game
all the
On
time.
steroids.
Well, look, but I'll say this. Even though he does get calls, you still gotta get to the free throw line and hit him, and he does that. He gets to the line and he knocks
Well, he's
him
got
down.
enough practice.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
what-
but shoot, a lot of people out there get to the line and it's like, look at
But
LeBron. LeBron gets calls, gets to the line, and it's like it's still 50-50. You still at least feel
Yeah.
like LeBron going in line. If it's a crunch situation, I like my chances.
But it changes the way that you play as a team,
Oh, of course
knowing
it
that
does.
you
Of
can't
course.
even get close to this guy and play hard defense or even good defense because you know they're going to call
They're gonna
something.
call
And if
something.
you don't play defense, he'll
You're still-
travel, double
well,
dribble,
you're
he'll
still
do
gonna get
whatever he
cooked.
wants.
yeah,
He can just take 4 steps from the 3-point line and dunk on you, and the refs are just like, "Yep, it's good, count it." Like,
Give him
I mean,
that
it's
double
just-
euro.
Yeah, I mean, you know what,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's totally ridiculous. And no, he would not be that good if the refs made half the calls that they're supposed to make because he would just have more turnovers. He wouldn't have points and fouls. I just don't. I don't. see
He would
him
have to
being as
change
great.
his game.
I think that's the reason for his lack of success in the playoffs because the refs start swallowing the whistles a little bit more in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And
gets
he doesn't
tighter.
get
It
those
gets
calls.
tighter. It gets
And
tighter.
Every
he,
year-
he melts down,
Every
especially
year,
playing Kawhi.
he is on his way to becoming the next Michael Jordan every season until game 1 of the first round of the playoffs, and then they're out. Every year.
Yeah,
I mean, what changes when they go to the playoffs?
I mean, they went to
The
the
refs.
Western Conference Finals 2 years ago.
Yeah, but remember the comeback that he was sitting on the bench when they made that
but
comeback.
I mean,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying is when they get to the playoffs, the only thing that changes is, like Dave said, refs start making tougher calls, or
Well,
the play gets tougher.
yeah,
the play gets tougher because the
Gets more
refs allow
physical.
them
Gets
to get
more
a little
physical.
more physical. They play a little more harder, and he can't play at that level.
But anyone that's that good, he's a very good shooter. He can get to the hole. Anybody that's that good, if you give them those extra calls, it's
It
easy.
makes
The
them,
game's
it makes
easy
them great.
for you.
It makes them great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think that at the end James still is he's one of the top 5 shooters in the league.
He's one of the top 5 players in the league.
Well,
just
no,
everything.
no. But I mean, I'm just saying, just in terms of who he is as a player, he's a top 5 shooter.
Especially
like,
for creating his own
From
shot. Absolutely.
creating his own
Definitely.
shot, 3-point shooting. So he is a great player, great scorer in his own right. Now, all the extra free throws that he gets, Steph Curry doesn't get those free throws because he doesn't go inside. James still does go inside to basically counteract all the shooting he does. So if he is at least still staying aggressive enough to get those calls, I mean, I don't think that it's one of those things where I look at him and say, oh, well, he wouldn't be great if he wasn't getting to the line 12 times. You still got to get to the line 12 times.
But here's what makes him annoying to watch.
Oh, no, he's definitely annoying.
How many of those 2-point field goals would be turnovers if they actually call travel?
Oh,
or call double dribble?
I mean,
you see
but
what I'm
that's-
saying?
but
Like
that's half the league.
that's what's annoying about it.
He's
is
egregious
that
with it,
It's
though.
just like, yeah, he's found that okay, they don't call travel in this league, so 4 steps every
Oh,
day.
I
You know
don't.
what I mean?
I don't
It's-
blame
it's-
him
it's-
if the refs are going to give you the call
Yeah,
and the refs are going to let you take that extra step. Why wouldn't you do it?
that's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
you play to the letter of
it'd
the
make
law.
every one of
I-
us a better player.
I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, I agree. I'm not arguing with it, but
yeah,
who
but
do-
that
who can
is
we-
what it is.
who do we start writing to? I mean, who?
You don't
No,
write to anybody.
Nobody. It
It's-
doesn't matter.
It's the way it's been.
It's,
doesn't
it's-
matter.
It's not going to
It's
change.
tragic.
They
It really
they
is.
pick their players that they want to allow to do certain things, and they could do it. And other players in the league just can't.
Well, the thing that upsets me the most about the traveling call is that they'll call the triple threat travel like randomly, and it's like,
Yes.
you call that travel?
Yeah.
That's the one you call?
They call
Right,
they
yeah.
call the weakest travel. They don't call the
Yeah.
most egregious
Yeah,
travel.
it's like that
Yeah.
travel had nothing to do. He wasn't even attacking the basket.
Yep.
Call the one that actually affects the play. He got a bucket.
Yeah.
I'd rather you
Yeah.
call that travel, take that point away, versus a travel where he still had to decide 4 more moves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't call that. Like, that travel had nothing to do with what
they
was about to
legislate
happen.
it by not taking the points off the board. They're like, okay, well,
Well,
this
we
is
called
basically
it
to make
travel.
that up. Yeah, we call
come
it
on,
travel.
man. That's terrible.
Yeah, I hate it, and I hope I hope it would change, but it's not going to change. But like Dave
Nope.
says,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's not.
it does get tighter in the playoffs a little bit, and we'll see because they have 2 people because Chris Paul gets away with a lot of stuff too. when it comes to traveling and pushing off and stuff like that.
Well,
But,
and especially defensively, he's
Defensively,
his defensive strategy against Steph, which has never worked, is I'll foul you every play. They're not going to call every foul.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the
I'm
things.
Chris Paul. They're
yeah,
not going to call everything on me.
Exactly. He's like,
Might
well,
get two.
I'm the world's greatest point guard. They're not going to foul me out. And you know
Yeah.
what? He's right,
That's right.
because he when he covers a really good player, he fouls you every play.
Yeah.
Every play.
Yeah.
He's old school about it. I mean, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it, but listen, the first time that either one of those two guys goes to the finals, you guys let me know. I don't see it happening. So
Maybe
If
if
LeBron
LeBron
comes
comes
next year.
I was just about to say, well, they were talking this weekend.
no, I'd still pick the
No.
Warriors.
This is
I
the
don't
most
know.
this is the most uncomfortable seat, but this does give me direct eye contact with Quan, and it gets awkward. We
It gets awkward. We say the same- we
We think a
think
lot
alike,
of the same
like,
things. Like,
things
it's like,
that-
oh, geez.
Don't become a Laker fan, please.
I mean, he's wearing a Laker jersey.
Yeah, I know,
It's already halfway
It's
there.
bad enough.
I
He's
rock
already halfway
everyone's
there.
stuff.
It's that first taste.
And speaking of Lakers, Kyle Kuzma, 38 points, 7 3-pointers as a rookie. He just doesn't look like a rookie out there. Him and Ben
No.
Simmons, even Jason Tatum, all three of these guys don't look like rookies. They'll make a couple rookie mistakes, but as far as their confidence, the way they attack, the way they shoot, well, not Ben Simmons, but they all look really good. There's some really good rookies this year.
Donovan Mitchell too.
Donovan Mitchell's playing
it's
really
a good
good.
rookie class.
So I want to ask you guys this: who is your top 5 in rookies right now, as far as like winning the Rookie of the Year? Who would be your top 5, Josh?
Top 5, you got to start with Ben Simmons, of course, even though he's not a rookie, but that's the way that they're
We will
breaking it
always
down.
say that at the end of Ben Simmons'
it's
name.
definitely a caveat.
Yeah.
He's gonna get the award more than likely, but it is getting tighter. I'd probably go after that. I'd probably go with one of the guys. Either you can kind of choose a lot of the different guys, but I'd probably go with Mitchell from the Jazz. He's kind of really made a push, and being on a team where they needed someone else. With losing.
Yeah.
Losing Gordon, they needed a new star, so he is able to kind of slide into that role and keep progressing. After him, I'd probably go Kuzma. After that, I would go Tatum, and then after that, I'd probably say either Fox or Dennis Smith.
Woo.
Dennis
Okay,
Smith Jr.
I'll give you mine just so I can shut that
Mhm.
down. I will definitely go Ben Simmons. Is definitely he almost averaging a triple double. He's averaging, I think, almost 18 or 19 points, 9 rebounds, or 9 assists, 7 something rebounds a game. Mitchell's averaging 17 points a game, 17.7. I think Kuzma's 17.6,
That's crazy.
something like that.
Off
So
the
those are the
bench.
top 3, and that's the thing. Kuzma's coming off the bench. Should be a starter, might be a starter for the rest of the year. Could possibly be 6th man of the year too as a rookie.
Yeah,
so
that's up for discussion.
Yeah, all rookie team and 6 man.
He
on the
better
same year.
he better not be 6th man of the year, because he better be starting for them soon.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, but shoot, we're almost halfway through the year. All you have to do to be the 6th man is just not start more than 42
Yeah.
games. So
And we'll see, because Luke might just like him coming off the bench because he does.
Yeah.
But he actually played a lot better last night as a starter, being able to come out and just dominate from the get go. So Donovan Mitchell would be actually Mitchell's my number 4, because I think Mitchell's just on a system like we talked about a couple weeks ago that's allowing him to be greater than he might be.
sure.
But they don't have anybody else. I mean, he's
Yeah.
creating, and nobody's
He's
taking
doing
heat
good.
off
I mean,
him.
but I would put Tatum number 3 above Mitchell.
Mm.
So Simmons, Kuzma, Tatum, Mitchell, and then I'm going with Lonzo Ball. And I have okay.
Oh,
You can say that. I have a lot of arguments to go against Dennis Smith Jr. and Fox.
I got an
Well,
off the board one for my 5th on there.
Listen, Lonzo Ball-
Of,
go ahead.
Just in terms of before you jump on those guys, the reason I put them ahead of him was because they're on teams where they really don't have much else. Whereas Lonzo, even though he's on a young team, he does have some other young stars, some people, some horses with him. Dennis Smith Jr. has a 50-year-old Dirk Nowitzki with him right now. Like I mean, he doesn't have a lot of other real juice around him.
Yeah.
Whereas some of these other guys, they do. So I was kind of
I feel you.
I mean, as far as the award itself, to me,
Yeah.
I mean, but you can say the similar thing about Simmons, but Simmons just been dominating even on a good team.
Yeah. So Dennis Smith Jr. Let me find the stats I had.
I would throw in a different fifth, personally, because I think this guy's coming strong.
Go ahead, give your 5 real quick. while I
My
find
5
the
at
stats.
Simmons at the top. Tatum to me is second. I know his numbers aren't as high as some others, but he's only getting 9 shots a game,
Yeah.
and he's hitting 50+% from 3, and he's contributing to a very, very good team with a lot of other options. I think
true.
Tatum may end up being the
Right
best
there.
player out of this. He may be the best player out of this draft, hands down. I would put Mitchell third, Kuzma fourth, and my fifth. It's kind of off the board, but he's coming on strong lately. John
Oh.
Collins from Atlanta.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. I did forget about the boy from Chicago.
Larry Markkinen's
Yeah,
playing
He's
well.
playing good.
Markkinen
He's
is
a
not
shooter.
bad. He's not bad.
Yeah. He can
That's-
definitely shoot.
Chicago as a
name.
whole, that's crazy.
All right. So Fox, first of all, he doesn't even get that many minutes. So everyone, jumping on the Fox train is thinking of college and what was said before the season started. He's not doing that great.
They
this
messed
year.
him up by bringing in George Hill. Fox should have those minutes. George Hill's bringing you nowhere.
Yeah.
Fox is your future. He plays fine when he gets the chance to play. You got to let him work out these speed bumps. He should be starting from and bring George Hill off the bench. Who cares? Let him. He can learn from George Hill being there about being a pro.
Yeah.
But the way they're doing that, it's like this. They're trying to make this push to be a playoff team. They're not a playoff team.
Yeah.
All right,
He won't be a
so
playoff team.
here's my argument with Lonzo over Fox and over Dennis Smith. Fox is averaging 9 points a game, 9.4, 2.8 rebounds, 3.7 assists. Those aren't good stats. That's not top 5 rookie at all. Not even close to me. I mean, that's not even that might be top 10.
How many minutes?
I don't see the minutes. 25.
Okay.
So he's still getting 25 minutes, which is
25
more than I thought.
Is
'cause
like a,
every time I watch, though, he
solid
doesn't really
bench.
seem to get it in the
like
game.
that's like a
because
6-man.
even Mason is playing a lot more than him.
Jaeger's that's the other thing too. Is Mason is another good player that they have there. Their rotations are terrible.
Yeah.
Like you never, as a player, it helps to know when you're playing, how much you're playing,
Sure, of course.
what your
Yeah.
role is.
What is my role?
Every time I flip past a Kings game, that the 5 on the floor is always different. It's
Yeah.
always totally different. Nothing makes sense. I mean, I think they found a gem in Frank Mason. I mean, he's a steady, like backup point guard. But I mean, Fox is the show. I mean, you need to get out of his way. And the fact that they're playing George Hill out there, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And I think Fox has been hurt a few games too, like
he
in
got
and
hurt.
out of games.
Yeah, he got hurt earlier in the season. I
Yeah.
think he's okay though.
Um,
Did you see him say that he's single, so it's okay for him to slide into
That
people's DMs?
was tremendous.
great.
I think I
That was
said that
great.
to you guys this morning.
That was
I
great.
saw-
yeah,
loved
you're the
it.
one
Yeah, I
that
saw.
sent it. That
Did
was
you see
hilarious.
I read
Oh,
that this
I
morning.
got that
yeah.
off my Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's
All right, so
classic.
De'Aaron Fox, 9.4 points, 2.8 rebounds, 3.7 assists. So
Okay.
9 points, three rebounds, 4 assists.
He's
much.
fine for not getting enough chances.
He's fine, but I'm going with the argument because I had this argument in a sports group today as well of him being better in a top 5 of Rookie of the Year, better than Lonzo Ball. I think people have the Lonzo Ball hate in their head, all the media coverage he gets, and his dad and all that stuff. Dennis Smith Jr., 14.4 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Now, is that better than 10 points a game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, leading the league as far as guards in block shots per game for
Whoa.
someone who can't play defense?
Whoa,
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Block
Lonzo-
shots are not necessarily an indication of defensive play. He's long. Yes, he gets a block a game. But I can tell you, Serge
That's
Ibaka
defense.
Serge
If-
Ibaka was one of the top shot blockers in the league, and I can tell you, I used to watch him nightly get roasted by any good
that's
player.
fine. But what's defense? That's still part of defense. Defense
it's still
is
a stat. It's a stat.
is
It's
not
what it
is blocking a shot. They don't get the point. You get the ball. That's defense. So I'm not saying he's a great defensive player.
He's ahead of John Wall as far as shot blocks.
Players get around him.
He probably is. He gets a block a game. 100%.
I'll have to check.
He got a nice one on Harden yesterday.
Yeah,
Seems
really
like a
good one.
mistake to me, Huff.
But
to check that.
listen,
check the stat man out.
10 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists.
No, it's a good stat line. It is. You can't hate on it. It's a good stat line.
And he's been playing a lot better the last couple of weeks. But putting him in the top 5 rookies. Everyone's putting Dennis Smith and Fox ahead of him, and some people were in the group too.
To my point,
it's not. They're not even close to being ahead of him as far as
I wouldn't put
stats
either
are
of those two
concerned.
ahead of him.
I mean, like I said, for me, it really came down to he has a lot around him as well. If he was on a team, like if you go ahead and plug and play him on some of these other teams where he doesn't have young people to run with him, because like Fox.
Now what's a lot on the Lakers though? Because
everybody
was saying Lakers aren't a good team.
No,
but
they're not necessarily.
Ingram showed up this year.
Yeah, they're
Ingram's
not.
been balling.
Kuzma is a revelation.
Problem. Randall is still a very young. He was a lottery pick. He can run the floor for a big man. He has if you put him on the floor with their 5 young guys,
throw some oops to
all
Nance.
of them, all of them can move and run.
Yeah.
It's not like you're putting him out there with old pieces or pieces that aren't athletic.
But can we make the argument Ingram has shown up this year partly because he has Lonzo Ball on the team?
Well, maybe
I don't think you can yet. I think eventually, as Ingram continues to get better and as the rest of these players continue to get better, as Lonzo gets more confident, Lonzo's passing ability, which is the one thing I've always said about him, is super, super special. He gets rid of the ball so quick. Everybody on the team will be more unselfish as time goes along because of Lonzo. A point guard like that creates an environment where the ball moves and everybody is like, he gets rid of the ball so quick, so they know that things are coming. The problem for him is just that you can't respect his shot at all. I mean, everybody's going way under the screen.
And I think that's where this is the issue with Lonzo
And
Ball.
what's your top 5, Steve?
And because I just added Lonzo, I got like 7. But here's
Top
the thing.
5? I got 7 in my top 5.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
here is where
You're missing a foot.
I got 6. It's all right.
here is where Lonzo, the tough thing about Lonzo, outside of his dad, outside of all the drama, outside of he's the next coming of Kobe on the
Great
Lakers,
dad, by
and
the way.
yeah, outside of all that stuff, he's not a very flashy player to watch. He's not going to drive to the basket and dunk on you. His jump shot or his 3-pointer is ugly. I mean, he's not like sinking a lot of them. So he's not going to get the average player to go, ooh, oh my gosh, like did you see Lonzo play last night? Like, even in the games, he's great. Nobody, not even you, Quan, is going to say, did you see Lonzo last night?
I've actually done that a few times when he almost had a triple-double against Phoenix,
but he doesn't.
In the second game of the season.
But it was
watching
a triple-double is just numbers. It wasn't necessarily it wasn't like you were drawn to the way he was playing.
Right. It's nothing about watching him that gets you really for certain basketball fans, maybe.
I've always loved passing. I used to be like that with Jason Kidd. I was like that with Magic Johnson.
Passing and selling tickets,
I was like
dunking
that.
and 3-point shots off.
No,
How?
Passing.
Have you
sells
ever watched
if
the
you're
A1
making-
League?
If you're
Have you ever watched the
if
A1
you're
League?
making sexy
But
passes,
is Lonzo passing like that? That's my point. He's not like amazing to watch.
But see, he's different.
Lonzo grabs a rebound and gets the ball to the other side of the court in 1 second.
Flashy
sometimes.
passes.
And as a basketball
his
player,
pass is a smart pass.
For me, or for you, or for Josh, we can watch that because we saw what just happened. That's amazing.
But
this is what I'm saying. The average fan is not seeing that going, oh my gosh, did you see Lonzo get that rebound and pass the ball?
No,
they're not saying that.
I don't know about that.
I'll give you a
But
counter.
this is what I'm saying. This is why Lonzo or people, you're having this argument with people, is because you're right with all the numbers Lonzo is putting up and all the things that he's doing, but people don't see that because it's not on ESPN.
Well,
but see,
it is
I-
on
I-
ESPN.
I- I
It
have
is
a-
on ESPN.
I
They're
have a-
distracted with other things going on in the family.
I have an ideal counter for this though. When I was sitting there watching a game the other day, and my kids, as you know, are just starting to watch basketball.
Okay.
And so
you're a great dad for that.
We're watching a Laker game, and which the kids are not allowed to be Laker fans. That's the one rule.
I need to beat them.
It's a good rule. It's a
And
good
they
rule. Stick by your guns.
and we're sitting there. It's Lakers like, oh, that's Lonzo Ball. They don't know many players right now.
Yeah.
But they know Lonzo because Lonzo is famous. So it doesn't matter if he's making a flashy play. Lonzo is famous.
Right.
So Lonzo will continue to be famous. And as his game progresses, people will start buying into some of the other parts of his game.
Yeah.
And the other thing is he's so famous. Every famous player, people want to do something like. Steph gets super famous. Everybody. I mean, now, of course, you as a coach are seeing the problems of that where everybody feels that they can pull from 40.
Right.
Because they all want to be
And that's-
Steph.
and that's
like
what
when I
they're
see the
practicing.
kids, they're like, it's like one of them's 9 years old. And he's like, every kid he plays with, they all want to shoot threes. It's like they can barely get the ball in the basket
Yeah.
from the short 3-point line, but they all Steph and they're all trying to shoot half-court shots. But
Right.
people will start saying, they'll start hearing enough times about Lonzo and his quick passes, and he gets the ball out of his hands. It will develop into him being appreciated for the skill that he is, like court vision, quick passing. He's gifted. I mean, a shot is a problem. Maybe it's broken forever. Who knows? But it's early.
I can
really
say
early.
I can say to both of you guys, you're right and you're right. For what Steve is saying, basically, I'll just use the simple fact of like Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah.
He crosses somebody up and then he bangs on 3 people in the middle of the paint. That's Sports Center. That's a real
Top 10.
highlight.
Right.
That's a real highlight.
And people are going to
I'm
say,
excited because
Yeah.
everyone's saying, "Oh shoot, Dennis Smith Jr. can jump. He can, as a guard, he's only 6'2", and he just dunked on all these tall
he
guys."
gets up there.
That's exciting. Whereas, but to Dave's point, basically, as people, because Lonzo is famous now, it remains to be seen if he's going to become infamous or not, or if his fame is going to catch up with basically people's perception of him.
Right.
If that doesn't happen, then he'll be infamous and he'll be shunned.
Yeah.
But if it does happen, he could be celebrated
Yeah,
for basically what he is, who he is, all of those kinds of
And Lonzo is getting better. Like, game to game, he's getting better. The first 5 games is like, come on, man. I keep telling myself, okay, he is a rookie. I'm expecting this. Now I am watching him, and I am going, okay. Like, he seems to be finding his spot, or at least getting better. He's
playing with more confidence.
Yeah,
He's comfortable now.
He's much better today than he was 3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So he is getting better. There are always going to be the people who just go, it's Lonzo Ball. He sucks. I mean, I get that.
I mean, there's people that do that with Kobe still, and LeBron. And,
exactly. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying.
haters gonna hate.
But it's easy. It's easier. Even looking at like Kobe and LeBron, it's easier to pick Kobe because he'll dunk on you, he'll spin, fade away, he'll do. I mean, he has so many moves that look cool.
Yeah.
And LeBron doesn't really have any cool looking moves unless he's dunking on you. In
He has
a
few,
fast
but
break.
his
But
stuff- his
definitely
stuff-
not
his
as many.
His stuff
You know
looks
what I mean?
more lumbering.
Well,
Right,
his dunks are. I don't think his jumpers look as
right.
good as
He's
Kobe's,
never.
but yeah.
I've never seen LeBron like.
Oh no,
fake
he
somebody
got a
out
couple.
and-
He's got
and
a couple, but
very
it's
few,
But it's
very
usually
few, like-
when he's on fire.
Yeah.
Like games
Right,
where it's like
right.
LeBron's on fire tonight. That's when all his stuff starts coming out. But like in a
most
normal
LeBron
game,
stuff is grab a rebound,
Yeah.
dribble down, and dunk on everybody.
Right.
or
right.
bully
You know what I
somebody
mean?
3
So-
steps and then
So
and,
it's like,
put
you
it
know,
in.
Or
you-
jump up and have Brooke Lopez run out of the way and dunk. I mean,
When you see,
Great defense,
you see
Brooke.
Michael Jordan go up
Everybody
with the
hurt.
right hand, come down with the left, and whatever, and do a finger roll, and it's like, oh my God, it's just amazing things to watch. It's
Yeah.
easy to pick that guy versus the guy who doesn't have,
any of those tools.
who doesn't have, but he has so many other tools that are amazing in their aspect. They're just not going to create that many highlights.
but
You see
people
what
are
I'm saying?
picking
So,
De'Aaron Fox and can't even name one highlight he's had all year.
yeah,
No,
But
shoot,
they-
he hit the game winner on.
I'm sure some
But
people
no,
can.
and I get.
I'm saying the fans out there,
Yeah,
Don't blame
yeah,
me,
yeah.
quote unquote fans
And
out there.
I get, and part of that is just.
I
you
like
know,
Fox a lot. Trust me.
Part of
Well,
that,
I'm way up on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
But he hasn't.
Part of
he
that
hasn't
is
had a good
just
start.
it's just Lonzo's always going to be against that hate because of his dad, because of whatever,
Hold on, Quan, you making posts?
But yeah, like,
What do you mean?
You making posts on let the ball bounce?
I'm putting the show in there.
Oh, okay, I'm getting alerts.
Oh.
I'm like, Quan's a bad man. I'm over here getting alerts on my watch. Like, what is going
I
on
put
over
the
here?
show in there. Happy Hanukkah, Todd. Glad you can make it to the show today, bro.
So I had my top 5. I had Simmons at number 1.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get your top 5
Yeah,
yet.
I'm still sticking with Simmons. He's my number 1. I had Kuzma at number 2, Tatum at number 3, and then I kind of had a toss up between Mitchell, Fox, and Smith. I couldn't pick one. Then you said Lonzo Ball, and I instantly start thinking like, why do I not have him on here? And I don't have a legit reason, so I put. That's why I said I got like 7 people in my 5.
And the reason
I did
someone
add Lonzo Ball. Right?
One of the reasons someone gave me in the group is because he's with another good rookie. I'm like, that makes no sense. That's why he didn't pick Lonzo Ball.
I mean,
Nah.
it's
You can still be a top 5
They
rookie
can
if
still
you have the
be,
5
yeah.
best
I mean,
rookies on one
yeah.
team.
That-
That's still the best 5 rookies.
That's a legit argument though, because I mean, thinking about it, like with MVP, you do take away from that. Like we can all say that Kuzma has had
You
more
do, but not for a top 5.
Not for a top 5,
To be
though.
rookie of the year, sure, you're not going to be rookie of the year with another good rookie.
Yeah.
Just like you're not going to be.
Yeah.
If Steph and KD are both healthy, they don't have an MVP shot.
That's right.
Realistically,
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna
But-
cancel each other out.
Yeah, they'll take some votes and some shine from each other, but
Yeah.
for being in the top 5, I don't see how it hurts. You can have 2 players be first team All NBA. I mean, you got Shaq and
that's
Kobe.
True. That's true.
They were definitely first team All NBA.
That's true.
Playing together, but they weren't getting MVPs out of it.
No.
Yeah.
That's true.
Shaq did.
One.
Yeah.
One only.
One.
Yeah, that
That's
was-
terrible.
That is bad.
That's terrible.
Shaq is the most. I feel like when you talk about like top centers of all time or just top players of all time, Shaq's name does not come up enough for me.
It
Like-
comes up, but I feel like sometimes when people bring it up,
There was a
it's
lot
just
of
like,
inconsistencies with Shaq.
Well, I think
In
the
the league.
the problem for Shaq is too many teams. He played in too many places. He played too long.
Too long for sure. He definitely played too long.
and he
last 3 years.
he also
Yeah.
wore out his welcome for being such a great player. He wore out his welcome in a lot of spots.
Everywhere.
Everywhere he went,
And
even Cleveland.
And at this
Yeah.
and also you never the reason why basketball fans all as much as we respected Shaq and knew what he meant, the reason we all ended up appreciating Kobe more is because you knew Kobe cared. You
Yeah.
never knew that Shaq cared. You knew that Shaq cared eventually once you got to the finals,
Yeah.
but Kobe cared every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Every day.
in the summer. I mean, Shaq wouldn't start working out till preseason.
No,
started.
and then like his injury thing, I got hurt on company time. I'm gonna get it fixed on
yeah,
get it
yeah.
fixed on company time.
Hey, look here, man.
it's respect, but at
I
the
know,
same
I
time,
know y'all don't
Yeah.
understand,
but
that's
he's
right
great.
there.
But at the
I
same
get
time,
it.
to Steve's point, the reason he's not in the conversation of top 5 players of all time in a lot of people's books is for those reasons. He didn't work hard enough to stay healthy consistently. He should have been able to stay healthy longer than he did.
I heard this once that he was like the kid that went to college and could have been valedictorian, but just had like an A-, B+, and had the best possible time.
Yeah.
It's not he's not
Yeah.
wrong for doing that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
wrong with how Shaq played his career or anything like that. I mean,
Played
when it
anything
came
out.
down to it,
Yeah.
he was unstoppable.
Yeah.
Unstoppable.
When it came down
And
to
But
it,
he'll
he
never
took
he'll
a
never
pay
get
cut.
the respect and appreciation
That's right.
that even Tim Duncan gets.
And what'd you say, Josh?
No, I said it still comes down to it. He took a pay cut coming to the NBA.
Well,
Steve, man,
you know.
welcome back. Welcome back. Name all the NBA teams Shaq played for.
Ooh.
Welcome back, Steve.
All right. He started off in Orlando Magic.
What college did he go to? This is a bonus question. This is a bonus question.
couldn't you have waited
Was
till
it
he started
LSU?
naming teams? Yeah, he did. Yeah, LSU, you got it. All right, keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
let it flow, Steve. Let it flow, baby.
All right. LSU. He went to. He started off in Orlando.
Yeah.
Orlando Magic. Then to the Lakers.
Yep.
That's where he became Shaq.
Yep.
Where did he go after that? I know he went to the Heat. He went to Cleveland. He
Oh.
went to the Celtics.
Okay.
He went to what did I say? Heat, Cleveland, Celtics,
Shaq this.
Magic.
Triple
Lakers.
words.
He's
How'd you
giving
get
mad
so many?
names.
How'd you get so many cues? Don't worry about
Gosh, who
it.
else did
That's
he-
actually Sarah Nichols.
who
Like
else did
that's
he
our
play for?
favorite. Like literally, that's our like.
You're missing one.
I know it's one more team.
He
I
went
can't-
from Miami to this team for Sean Marion.
Oh, Steve.
the Sun. No, it wasn't the Suns. No,
Yes.
Mavericks, Suns or
Yes,
Mavericks? Suns.
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 Phoenix Suns.
He went to the
Phoenix
Suns?
Suns. Yes.
Yeah.
He did play.
They tried to get him in the-
Okay.
Mark
He did
Cuban
play for
tried
the
to get
Suns.
him a lot
He
of
did play
times.
for the Suns.
Just didn't
Yeah.
work out.
Steve Kerr was a GM, so that was a heist of a trade at the time.
It was a
Yeah.
joke. It was definitely a joke.
Which Steve Kerr has actually said, he felt he had to make it at the time, but he felt that it was a mistake because it ruined the chemistry that they had.
Yeah.
Well, that was the end. Once
he-
once Sean left, that was it.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
no coming back.
But that team wasn't going to any championships anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean's a cool guy. I met him a couple times.
He's nice.
The Matrix.
Terrible shot.
He has a twin brother,
Ugliest
doesn't
shot
he?
I've ever seen in my
Doesn't
life.
he have a twin brother?
He does. He does.
That shot is uglier than Lonzo Ball shot.
No.
But between those two, I don't know.
Yeah.
like,
No, Sean Marion's
need-
shot's uglier.
we need to have a
I would
poll
say it's
on who
uglier.
has the ugliest
What?
shot. Like both of those shots are terrible looking.
You
Sean
don't- you
Marion's
didn't-
shots
you
are
didn't-
Those
uglier.
are some-
You didn't think Sean Marion's shot was uglier than
It was
Lonzo?
ugly.
No, Sean Marion's is uglier.
That
than
is
Lonzo.
I didn't think it was
Sure.
100%.
I didn't think it was ugly.
Sean,
That is
Sean,
some-
like literally.
It doesn't
just
make sense even like
I
how
don't
he
even
shoots it.
think
His
his
shot
arm, his
was the
hands go
hardest
above his
shot-
He shoots it from like
shoulders.
here.
ever to perfect on NBA 2K. Like
It's-
literally, if somebody could make the shot
Because
with
it
Sean
doesn't make
Marion,
sense.
it was like, yo, seriously, how long have you been playing the game? Like, you scare me. If you knew how to make that shot, it was crazy,
Doesn't make sense.
absolutely insane.
Ugh.
We talked about this before, right? The top
Yeah.
5
Good
worst
job,
shots. Bill
Sarah.
Cartwright's in there.
Well, you know one that we didn't get in there that
What's
really should have been brought up? Michael Kidd Gilchrist. he comes around like this.
Yeah.
It-
But I think we didn't we? Because we just announced how horrible of a basketball player he was.
We talked about it a couple weeks back.
Yeah,
we
we
were
went
talking
on
about
him in
ugly
I think it
general.
might have been the
shots.
On the Off Air show.
That might have been
Possibly.
They all
You
blend.
check the replays. Dave's like, that's not on the replay.
They all blend together
It's
now.
not on the replay at all.
Sarah caught the Shaqtus comment. That I'm telling you, that literally was like. Do you remember? You don't remember that?
I want to thank Sarah for watching your video and not mine.
So it was actually with
Yeah, it's a little too much Josh on his feed.
It was with
It's all Josh.
Stuart Scott,
All the time.
and it was an ESPN
Just
commercial
Josh.
for NBA on ESPN, and so Shaq like was playing Stuart Scott on they were playing Scrabble, and Shaq had like all these cues, like if you looked at the board, it was like Shaq Fu, Shaq O'Neal, like he had like all like everything was like spelled out on the board, and so like he like is like my turn, Shaq. Oh, he's like, well, what do you know, Shaqtus, and like Stuart's like, what? And he's like, how'd you get so many cues? He's like, don't worry about it. My turn. And then like there was like a follow up commercial, and he takes Mike Breen and Stuart Scott out to the desert in Phoenix, and there's a cactus with Shaq's face on it, and he was like, I told you there was a Shaqtus, and like it's pretty good. You can YouTube them. They're still around.
YouTube.
They're still around.
God bless.
That's a good thing about YouTube. They're
Yeah,
always around.
R.I.P. Stuart Scott and
R.I.P. Stuart
his
Scott.
picture in Michael Smith and Jameel Hill's studio where that got taken down too.
Oh gosh. Tim Donaghy, the ref that was accused and went to jail for gambling, charged with aggravated assault after alleged threat with a hammer.
What series was he involved in?
A lot.
But there was a specific one.
I don't remember.
Lakers
02?
Kings.
There was a specific series where he might have had a little something to do with the outcome.
There's a couple questionable Laker wins. Scattered through the Shaq Kobe years.
Well,
I don't know what any of you
that
are
King
talking
series was egregious, as they would say.
Egregious.
I don't recall. All I recall is Robert Horry hitting the shot. Lakers winning Game 7 in OT.
Fair enough.
That's all I remember.
That's all there
Fair
is.
enough.
That's all
He
that.
remembers.
That's all. Look, that's all that.
If I was a
that's all the
Laker fan,
history
I'd remember it
remembers.
the same way too.
That's what's in the history.
That's what it
books.
is.
That's all that history.
That's right.
remembers.
All right, Hall of Fame came out today.
I saw that.
We got Ray Allen, candidates, not going in. Ray Allen, Grant Hill, Chauncey Billups,
God, I hope not.
Phillips.
Rip Hamilton, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd. Those are the top.
Okay, solid class.
Ray Allen, Steve Nash,
Ray,
Jason
Steve.
Kidd.
Okay, who's gonna make it and who's not gonna make it
Jason
on this
Kidd,
list?
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Steve Nash won 2
absolutely,
MVPs.
too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Steve gets in.
He's going in
And-
as a Laker too.
No,
No,
he's not.
I'm sure.
He's going in as a Sun Maverick.
I stole their money.
He'll be going
A
in as a son.
Saverick.
He'll be going in as a son.
Oh, he
Steve
left
Nash,
Dallas on bad terms.
Jason Kidd, Ray Allen.
Ray gets in.
Those three names.
I
should
think
get in.
Right
Ray-
away?
Yeah,
I think
mean,
so.
I think he should,
Ray-
but
I think Ray gets in.
2 championships, big shots in both championship runs.
yeah,
Is he number? Is he number?
He's
3
number
in
no, he's
three-pointers?
number 1 in 3-pointers.
yeah, number one.
He's still number
No.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
no,
Yeah, no
He'll
one's
be number
faster.
1 for a while.
No one's faster.
I don't know
No,
about
no,
for a
no.
while.
Well, I mean,
That's
Steph-
3 point.
He's got like 3-4
3-pointers made.
seasons.
Yeah,
3-pointers
3-pointers made.
Okay.
3-pointers made. Oh, percentage.
No,
I
was-
don't know percentage.
I was thinking in a season. I know Steph broke the record twice.
oh yeah, in a season,
Where's
he's not
Ray?
there.
He's not on that list. He's just
No.
all time.
Oh no, now
He's
it's,
in there for
it's
all
Steph and Clay. That's
Steph's
Yeah.
breaking
Okay.
everything.
it's a
Yeah,
list
yeah.
of Steph and Clay now.
They're a creative team on 2K. They
Right.
just keep
Yeah,
breaking
yeah.
their own record.
Yeah,
I don't
it's-
think Chauncey gets in.
I hope not.
Rip Billups definitely doesn't get in right now.
They shouldn't.
No.
I don't think either
Rip
one of them
Hamilton,
should get in.
it's going to take a long.
No, they
is Rip
better
Hamilton
not.
a Hall of Famer though.
No, Chauncey's not a Hall of Famer. Rip Hamilton's not a Hall of Famer.
three All-Star teams.
I don't. Okay, and
Okay, in today's game, no.
Jamal McGlure was an
To-
All-Star.
Today,
gosh.
oh my goodness, I hate you so much. In today's
I
game,
forgot about Jamal.
I
McGlure.
know. In today's game, I'd say no, simply because of now everyone that they're up against. Who was at your position, and then how many All-Star games did they have?
Yeah.
Versus if this would have been 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I think both of them would get in after some time But now, in terms of the landscape of their positions, with point guard and how much point guard has changed so much in the last 20 years, it gets a little bit tougher.
And 3 All-Stars isn't really that much anymore for not
No.
Hall of Fame.
It used to
for
five
playing
used,
that amount of
five
years?
Used, yeah, 5 used to be enough to get you in.
Yeah.
5, you were a good player.
I don't think
get
you
in.
should. I don't think you should even be considered with less than 5.
Yeah,
And 3 on a team like that. That was a great team
they
for
were
a few
dominant
years.
for a solid 6.
They
7
had
years.
5 people in the All-Star game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one year. Yeah.
Well, I think that more so just showed you how terrible the East was.
That too.
Realistically, because you'd see the Western squad, it's like not a one of them would have been an All-Star in the West, but in the East they needed to scrape up some All-Stars.
It just
She
bothers me
definitely-
that All-Star still,
Sheed
and it's
for sure.
Sheed
always
when he
been,
cared, he didn't care all the time.
Touche.
but they've been voted in, so it's just like if we can't.
No,
we
no,
can't
no,
use
no.
All-Star
Rip
games.
Hamilton never
They
got
never
voted
got
in.
voted
Pistons
in.
were always on the bench.
Yeah.
Like I think
We can't-
Chauncey and Sheed
Sheed
maybe
might have started.
Sheed maybe, but most of them were usually the players, the players and the coaches, pick.
I just can't see All-Star game. To me, it's not enough to have that as the measuring stick on if you get into the Hall of Fame or not. Like,
Well, it's a measuring stick. I'm
It's
just
one.
Well,
saying.
it's the only outside of their title. It's the only one they'll have.
Yeah.
And I don't think Rip
'Cause-
Hamilton has anything else besides All-Star games
all,
and the title
all
to
defensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has he probably has a couple all defensive teams on there.
Not first.
But second, maybe third.
Another thing, how long did it take for Rip Hamilton to actually be
Rip
a
Hamilton.
great NBA player?
Rip
you know
Hamilton.
What I'm saying?
No, it took.
Yeah.
It
He
took
wasn't
him,
that in Washington.
no, he wasn't at all.
And he wasn't that after Detroit at all. I mean, he went
But
to
he was-
Chicago,
he-
had some cool years.
But he was in Detroit for a long time.
How long's long though? Like 5 years?
No. He was there like 7 years. I feel
Yeah, but how great? How many years was he great in Detroit?
he was great in Detroit almost from
get-go.
From go.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let me break this down with you guys. So
Stats.
career highlights and awards. We're not even gonna get into stats because his stats won't get him in.
Fair enough.
that's kind of my thing.
All right.
Like, you know what I mean?
So
Yeah,
if you're Chauncey Billups, you're NBA Finals MVP,
Yep.
5-time All-Star,
Okay.
one time
Fine.
on the All-NBA second team,
I'm talking about Billups.
This is
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
This is,
one time on the All-NBA, who has the stronger
Billups.
stronger case, one time on the All-NBA second team. So once you were
on the second
between
team.
Top
6 and 10,
top 10. Yeah.
2 times on the third team,
Okay.
2 times all defensive second team.
Okay.
We're not counting sportsmanship awards and things like that for this. That's the list.
I think
Played for the Celtics, Raptors, Nuggets,
Yeah, see, and
Wolves,
that's what
Pistons,
hurts him.
Nuggets again, Knicks, Clippers,
Oh, God.
Pistons to retire.
that's
He
what hurts
retired
him.
as a Piston?
He did.
That's
he
more
went
than
back. He
Shaq.
went
I
back
mean,
that
it's
last
just-
year.
It's just too many.
Career averages of 15.2 points, 2.9 rebounds, 5.4 assists.
If you're
That's
so
not a Hall of
good,
Famer.
if you're so good, why'd you play for so many teams?
Well,
That's-
remember Chauncey's career. He was
He started off
constantly,
rough.
he was
He shouldn't have
constantly
been traded
littered
that
in
first
bad
time.
situations.
Yeah.
Like he started in bad situations and got traded to worse, and then had to find his way off of those teams. Like he didn't really become Chauncey until that second time in Denver and also in Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Those are his best years.
let's give you the highlights and awards for Rip Hamilton. 3 times All-Star.
Okay.
There you go.
Wow. Wow.
His number was retired by the Pistons.
Shut him down.
He was also
Dave's
the
mic has to
he
be
was
cut
he
off.
was he was the Final Four's most outstanding player at UConn.
Simpson, Homer. That is all.
I would be mad if
See?
either of those got in the first time.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think either of them.
I don't think either
And
should be in.
and so
But-
let's talk about Grant Hill right now.
Yep.
7-time
I
All-Star.
wouldn't put Grant in as much as I love him.
Co-rookie of the year.
Yep.
Injuries robbed him of a definitive.
Oh no, he was definitely
Hall
on
of
his way.
Famer.
He was there.
Still
was
played 18 seasons though, even with that injury, which
Yep.
I think
18
most players
seasons.
would have stopped and been like, "I'm done. I've done enough."
I think Grant Hill goes for different reasons. I
Well,
mean,
look.
I
Grant,
think-
Grant had, but you also do have to remember his college career, which they can also help weigh him, and he did go back to back at Duke.
So
he was the beginning of Krzyzewski.
And he
Grant
played
Hill-
4 years at Duke.
Yeah,
3
Grant-
years. No, 3
Oh,
years.
3 years. That's right. Yeah.
Grant Hill was a 7-time All-Star, All-NBA first team, 4 times on the second team, co-rookie of the year, All-Rookie first team, Much stronger case than Billups.
Exactly.
But
Well,
to
and
me-
his numbers in the beginning, those first 7 years,
Yeah.
those numbers
before his
that
injuries,
might be Hall of Fame.
he was
even
20
before
he
the,
was 20 25 25 7 and 7 type
Yeah,
guy.
and that might be Hall of Fame even before the injuries. Then.
and that's my point.
yeah.
Is before his injuries,
Before his injury, he was
on his way to being the next big thing.
But even after that,
Except
we
for
we,
Michael
we can
Jordan,
go back
you know
to
what I mean?
2010. Him and Steve Nash took the Suns to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
He played really good at the end of his career.
Well,
I mean-
he completely reinvented himself.
He changed who
to like
he
a
was.
defensive
He was a
stopper.
defensive stopper
Yeah.
and hit the three.
In 18 years, he was never even with injuries. He was never just like, Grant Hill sucks. Like nobody ever. It was always like, okay.
Well, some of those
he's
injuries made him
injured.
suck. A
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
years.
No,
he,
but
he wasn't good, but
he
it was
good
like.
till he was about 40.
But
he
you
could, he
know,
could still
you
play in the
just
league when he
knew that
retired.
if
Yeah.
Grant Hill is healthy, if he's really good, he's gonna start on the team. Like
I mean,
he's a
if he
good
never
player.
got
Like,
hurt, it might have been like, is LeBron better than Grant Hill and Michael Jordan?
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
but he was there.
That's where he
like,
was headed.
He like Grant. It's funny. He actually was talking to his daughters and some of his highlights. Like they went and like watched some of his highlights on ESPN and
Yeah.
on YouTube and everything. And his daughters were like, "Dad, you were actually pretty good." And he's like, "Yeah, no, I wasn't always old and couldn't move." Like, yeah, I mean, like he like again off air, I can tell you what happened to Grant in the ankle.
I've read a lot about that. It's a
oh,
bad story.
oh, no,
he really hates those feelers.
Oh no, it's
Yeah.
not just the
Plus the
feelers,
doctors.
Oh, we need to hear the off air.
I heard.
We
I
need
think
to hear-
Actually, no, bump it. I don't care.
Oh,
I was just gonna say. I
give
breaking
swore
news.
You told me
Breaking news.
some-
Hey,
I think-
wait. He got some off air
I'll
stuff he's
give
saying
you-
on air.
Yeah.
Stop, Steve.
I'll give you.
Steve,
the story.
anytime he wants to talk about off air
I'll
stuff
give
on
you the
air,
story. So Grant, in the Felas, because he did say afterwards that like Fila kind of robbed him of some
big
you know,
baller, big baller brand might do
yeah.
that too. to some
Well, I
kids.
mean, but the technology, Nike, Adidas, and really, truthfully, not even Adidas, really just Nike. Their shoes are just they're built for basketball,
Yeah.
whereas most of these other shoes are just like they're nice to look at, but you're putting every other part of your body at peril by wearing them. But Grant in March of I think that was 2000, the 2000 season. The Pistons were a good but not great team. Most of Jerome's years, the Grant Hill years, the Pistons were always a good team, but they were never great, scary. We weren't taking anybody out. Like Jerome's rookie year, I think they won 54 games, and we were like the 3 seed, but lost in the first round.
yeah,
Like that was kind of his career there, and they never really put anything around him, and so Grant was constantly the guy, and he injured his ankle. He sprained his ankle in March, and it was a bad sprain, real bad. I was a ball boy, and it was a bad sprain. Not gonna say anything as far as names on the Pistons, but basically Grant was he was in his contract year. The Pistons knew, and they kind of did this to Jerome as well. They knew that they weren't gonna be able to re-sign him because they didn't have any cap money, and they also had no one there.
yeah.
So Grant was not gonna just keep coming back and give him all of his youth. So Grant was out there on a sprained ankle. He had it X-rayed. They said it was just a sprain. He played through this because the Pistons, it was March. They were still battling, for
For
playoff
playoffs,
positioning,
yeah.
all that good stuff. Sprains it even worse in the first round versus the Miami Heat. The day after the season is over, he gets it X-rayed again, and now, you got like 5 fractures in your
Wow.
ankle. And basically what we always said and what
He was playing on
what Grant
fracture.
said was basically that the Pistons knew his ankle was fractured, and they deliberately allowed him to play
Wow.
because they knew that they weren't going to be able to keep him. And yeah,
And that's why so many people have their own doctors now to
Yep.
get a second opinion on.
Yep. So and then
Wow.
but going to Orlando, I don't think anybody ever knew just how bad it was. He ended up getting staph in his ankle.
Yeah,
That was
he had
Yeah,
a real
yeah.
scare there.
His ankle, like he almost lost his foot. Do you guys
Yep.
remember that one year where he was honored at a Duke game? Like this was during NBA season, and he like was semi-retired basically at that
Right.
point.
Yeah.
And he like stood up with a cane, and he looked like it was really like it's impressive that he ended up playing for 18 years.
Yeah.
Because those Orlando years were not kind.
And that
No.
is a Hall of Fame player that we talking about. You see what I'm saying? Like Like,
But
find me
I don't know.
a good Rip Hamilton story like that, or a
There's
Chauncey
not.
Billups story.
There's
like
not.
But we already knocked them out of it.
National
That's what I'm saying.
championship.
Like,
National
they
championship.
shouldn't be there. Like,
I love Grant Hill. He definitely would have been a Hall of Famer, but that's another thing to me, at least, that the injury robbed him of.
Yeah.
The injury robbed him of being a Hall of Famer.
He's in the same boat to me as Tracy McGrady. Like that's that
I still
tier.
think his career was better than
his
McGrady.
career was better simply because he actually took teams somewhere.
Yeah.
He carried them alone. Like he didn't have anybody. Like Tracy had Yao. Like he did have another star with him. Grant never had any other stars when he was in Detroit. When he was Grant, you know what I mean? Like Lindsey Hunter and Joe Dumars at Allen. But remember, they got rid of Allen. Didn't really break free and become Allen till they let him go and he moved on to New York.
Yeah.
That was when he became Allen Houston. Like he was athletic and dunking on people in Detroit. And then, he left when they were still red, white, and blue.
Remember when Doug Collins cried when they beat the Bulls?
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Ray Allen, we agree he's probably getting in for sure right now.
Yeah.
Single
double.
And I think
Doug Collins.
And I agree with Dave. I don't think Grant Hill
double.
necessarily should get in this time, but I think he will.
I think he has. Look again. Tracy is now
Being
set
in the
a
media won't hurt.
He's now set
at
a
all.
yeah.
He
at
voted
all.
for himself.
He now has. They set a precedent of the Hall of Very Good now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that changes that the numbers change for everybody. Penny's up for discussion now. Like everybody's up for discussion now.
So you got.
Penny
I'm going to hit you with some Ray Allen stuff real quick. 10-time All-Star,
Yep.
All-NBA second team, All-NBA third team.
Most threes in NBA history.
Wait, is that all?
Yeah, that's all
that
for
is all.
awards.
2 championships. Most
Yeah.
three-pointers in
Oh,
NBA
sorry,
history.
all rookie second team.
Second team? Really?
He was in
Most
Milwaukee,
three-pointers
that's
all
hard.
time.
No, but he still was killing.
18
I know, but
18.9 points a game for his career, which got brought down by his last few years.
Yeah, for sure.
3.4 assists.
For sure.
let's look at that all-rookie team because
Well, okay, because all right. Well, it was.
what year was
Allen,
that?
it was
96,
Iverson.
97.
Yeah, it would have been Iverson. Might have been Steph. It might have been Stephon Marbury. Steph might have snatched it, and Ray slid to the second team because it would have been because Steve Nash wasn't doing anything in Dallas that first year. Because that was before he got Dirk, so he wasn't. That was when he was still a rookie. He didn't do much.
Yeah.
He didn't turn to Steve Nash till like year 3. Yeah. That was
Okay. So name who you think. Who you think the all-rookie team was that year.
Okay.
I can tell you who
No,
it is.
no. He's asking. That was my draft.
Trivia question.
All right. So
What is?
there might be a freaking scary Kerry Kittles in there, and that would like throw everything off.
Well,
Second team.
second
okay.
team.
Yeah. All right. So he's with Ray down there. Okay. So it was probably AI, Steph, Antoine Walker.
Yep. Who looks like Shaq now.
Antoine's a good guy.
I got
Leave
nothing.
You
Antoine
see that
horror
picture, though?
stories about that guy.
I know him. I love Antoine.
I do too, but
That's
he
employee
looks
number.
like Shaq.
That's employee number 88 now.
I saw him in court a couple times out here in Vegas.
Oh, there you go.
No, I did. I took a picture of him. Go ahead.
It's
Actually,
Uh,
a really good rookie class.
Center. Oh yeah, no, that's probably it's that and the '84 draft are the greatest drafts of all time.
I'd say that.
That draft has legit 5-6 Hall of Famers in it.
There's Hall of Famers that aren't on these rookie teams in this class. All right, center and power forward. These are hard.
Center and power forward. Center. I don't think it was J.O. J.O. wasn't doing it in Portland
Nope.
yet.
No, he
So it
wasn't.
wasn't J.O. Maybe.
Starts with an M.
Oh, Muirsap.
No.
No.
Controversy in college.
Last name is C.
Oh, starts with an M. Last name's a C. Starts with an M.
Not Candyman, but
No, it's not Michael Candy. That one.
Marcus Camby.
Oh, okay. At center?
Well, power
He's
forward.
power
center.
forward, right? Okay.
But he was
all right.
he was first team. But now your other player was also nicknamed by many broadcasts as the best player you've never seen when he was filling it up. And truly nobody had seen him.
Ooh.
You had to be a real deep NBA head at that point to catch his games.
And I like him
Just
in college.
just
That's
give
the
me
only
team. Just give me team.
Grizzlies.
Vancouver. Had a different name in college.
Oh, Sharif
Yeah.
Abdul-Rahim. Sharif.
What was his name in college?
Oh.
It
Did he have a
was-
different name in college?
Yeah, he did have a different name in
I
college.
did not know that.
When he
I
played
never knew
for
Well, I think his last year in college is when he changed his name.
I never knew that.
I
Yeah.
think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he
Yeah.
played for California, right?
yeah, he went to Cal.
Cal.
His name was like Walter Prescott. Change the name, Sharif Abdul.
No, it wasn't Walter Prescott.
The second team that year was Ray Allen, Kobe Bryant, Kerry Kittles,
Mm-hmm.
Matt Maloney from the Rockets,
From the
Yes.
Rockets.
and Travis Knight.
Wow.
Some interesting
Wow.
second teamers. two
Wow.
great second teamers, and
And 3.
And then 2 white throw-ins.
well, Kerry Kittles had a solid career for about 5 years, and then he like disappeared.
Yeah.
I still look. He lost his mojo when he stopped doing the one high sock, one low sock. When he got to the league and he cut that out, I was like, "You lost all of it, brother."
Dang.
Do you know why he did that? Do you know that?
I have no idea.
Oh, don't know the trivia behind that.
History.
All right. His whole.
What if
his-
Steve knew
his-
that?
Oh, if Steve knew that, I would do push-ups.
I do not know that.
No. Basically, his team won the state championship in high school that year. His last year, his senior year, and the whole start. I don't remember if it was the whole starting line or the whole team did that. And so
Okay.
when he got to college, he kept that going
Nice.
as in remembrance of that team. Yeah.
And yo, we got
The
to
more you know.
The more you know.
Hey, I got a couple things for Dave every now and again. I've got the stories. Dave's got the book stuff.
The book.
he's got the
book
tidbits.
learning.
That's right.
All right, and,
no street smarts.
No.
real quick, I want to go back to the Kobe thing. 2 numbers retired for one team.
Yes,
He
sir.
pretty much had a full career in each jersey, 10 years.
He did.
Steve, going with you first so you don't take anyone else's answer. Who – I'm joking. Do you take number 8 Kobe versus number 24 Kobe? Who wins?
This is so hard. Like
That's what she said.
yes, she did.
She did say
I'm
that.
still going.
She
I'm
did
still
say
going.
that.
I'm still going with 24 Kobe. I mean, number 8 Kobe was a beast. 81 points, 62 points in 3 quarters. 20. I just like 24, more mature, older. The Shaq days were behind him. Kobe. Something about that Kobe I liked a lot more, and I rooted for more than number 8 Kobe. I can't say exactly what it is, but watching
I'll tell you
watching
why.
No
watching
sexual
it,
assault allegations.
I don't-
No, he was at number 8.
I'll tell you why in that one.
but I don't know. I have to pick 24. I like
24.
24 Kobe better. Yeah.
All right, Dave.
Oh, for me, Laker
My
hater
bad.
extraordinaire. There's still no question. I only had love for number 24 Kobe because that's when you reached like late career. I will talk about anybody.
Respect.
I don't care anymore. I've already
Yeah.
made my name
Yeah.
basically twice. You know, it's like to me, 24 Kobe is a much more interesting Kobe.
He is.
And I
Yeah.
think he was a more well-rounded player. I mean, 8 Kobe was so explosive. 24
Yeah.
Kobe could have figured out a way to play with Shaq. 8 Kobe couldn't.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's actually deep.
I agree with
He
that.
would
I
he would have
can't
seen
even
how
argue
many
with that,
he would
yeah.
have seen how many more rings and how much more
Like he would have seen
how much more physical breakdown Shaq would have saved him.
Yeah, he would have figured out a way to make that work.
But
Maybe-
number 24 Kobe never happens if he didn't deal with what he dealt with as number 8
Exactly.
versus Shaq.
That's
True.
what I was going to say.
with
yeah.
Shaq.
Maybe that was part of making number 24
I
Kobe,
think. Look,
but-
everyone has progression, and Kobe's what he said about what jersey he thinks more about was mainly that everything for him in 24 was hard, whether it was coming back
Yeah.
from injury or basically building a team on his own and winning on
Yep.
his own or winning basically with Powell. It was harder, so that was the reason why he chose that number. But the more and more I think about it, I don't know. 8 is tough simply because, like you said, he was so explosive. I think personally, I didn't really start to love Kobe until he was 24 because, like both of you said, that's when Kobe didn't care. He didn't
Yeah.
care anymore. 8 Kobe, especially when he was Froby,
Cared a lot.
everything was basically
Very-
trying to
very
keep his
emo.
image very
Yeah.
vanilla. He didn't, it was all about sponsorships and basically being Jordan, but not saying I'm
Yeah.
Jordan. Like,
Right,
don't say
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but of course I want. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it was very, very contrived. I feel like it was very fake. 24, he was 100%. This is who I am,
Yep.
and you can like it or lump it.
Yeah.
and there is
and more people liked him.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I actually liked him
Yeah.
when he got the tattoo
because he
When-
started
once he got
being
the
more
tattoo,
he started being more genuine.
100%.
And,
It felt like you got to see him, not
Yeah.
not the
Not the
that's
representative.
the, like
Yeah.
well, that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's
Yeah.
like LeBron is the representative forever,
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the exception of maybe some things on social issues. But if it's other than that, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
LeBron James Corporation.
Yeah.
incorporated.
times.
LeBron James Inc.
Incorporated.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
I said 24 and I'll stick with it, the gunslinger like crazy stat season was 8.
It was 8.
Yeah.
The 81
Oh.
was in 8.
8.
I
Well,
mean, the 4
MVP
straight 50
was in
point
8.
games was 8.
That's what makes this so
9
tough.
40-point
You
games
know what I
was
mean?
number
like,
8.
Like when you talk about the player on the court, like
The birth
the-
of Black
the-
Mamba was 8.
like all those
No,
things
Black
happened
Mamba
at
was
number
24.
8.
No. The birth of it was 8. When
He started Black Mamba when he was transitioning from 8 to 24.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he had the website and all that. So
That's right.
That's when he was marketing as calling himself the Black Mamba, was pretty much that transition
Yeah.
from 8 to 24.
But
So
when
it
he-
did start.
when he
with
talks
8.
about where it started, he usually goes back to those game winners when
Yeah.
like when he was playing Portland and he hit that like near half court shot to win the game, but he hit that crazy 3 to send it in overtime. Like that was that season
Yeah.
when he stopped caring and he was just, I'm in attack mode all the time.
Well, and personally, I like number 24 Kobe better as a person. As a basketball player, I go with number 8 for the reason he was just a killer. The 81-point game, I'm sorry, that's tough. He had 35 points a game that season. 62 points against Dallas when they only had 61 in 3 quarters. Number 8 in 2000, when Shaq went out in Game 4 of the Finals, they go into overtime. Kobe takes over the game. That was little young Kobe. That's Shaq's shadow.
Yeah.
Kobe
yeah.
came in and just confidently took over that game, won that game for them. That was ultimately probably the championship.
Yeah.
And they ended up winning 6 games. And what we forget about that Kobe in Game 4, Jalen Rose in Game 2 put his foot under Kobe's ankle, and Jalen admits
Yep.
this now that he did that
Says
on
it
purpose.
flat out.
He wanted to hurt him. He wanted him to be out of the whole series. He missed only 1 game with a major ankle injury, comes back in Game 4 and takes over that game and wins it. So I take number 8 as a player. It's hard because both number 8 and 24 were just great to watch in different ways. Kobe definitely evolved his game, had a post game at 24, but he was injured a lot. You know, he averaged 14 points his last season as number 24.
But you know what?
Yeah, that Achilles is number 24.
Yeah.
Um,
all the injuries.
But he
that
had his
kept him
MVP
out.
as 24.
Yeah. I want to go back to
He was also
He did.
No,
Olympic
was it-
Olympic
MVP
Team
was
USA
24?
Kobe. Yeah.
yeah,
Team-
he
I thought
didn't
that
win
was-
till 09.
I thought that was it.
Team
No,
U-
you're right.
Team
You're right.
USA
You're
Kobe,
You're right.
which
right.
granted he wasn't wearing 24, but
He's wearing
that
10.
player, but that
Yeah.
version of that player was
Yeah.
24
24.
Kobe.
Yeah.
And down the stretch in 2008, when
They
they
need-
needed buckets,
They look.
they didn't go to LeBron.
08 was shoot. We were still trying to find our way back to the
I mean,
top
they
of the mountain.
diced everybody else
One-
up
one more
in
nu-
that gold medal game.
One more number 8 for Kobe is the Colorado trial,
Yes.
where he's going back and forth, which most players, everybody in the world was telling him to take the year off. Everybody in the NBA, people around him, the team even told him to take the year off. He didn't, and he kept coming back. He would fly out to Denver for his court hearing and fly back into the game
Game time.
and play the game and always play good those games he flew into town.
And was who was that? Was it Chris Rock? Where it said that Kobe was trying to beat that court on the case, that case on the court. Like he was.
And he might have.
Yeah,
But
But you could also argue that's what cost them that title, because that and Karl Malone's injury.
Karl Malone got hurt. There's nothing you
There's
can
a-
do about
there's a
Karl
lot-
Malone
There's
getting
a
hurt.
lot. There's a lot. From
Gary
that
Payton-
year.
I mean,
was
that team
not
shouldn't have- that team probably deserved to lose a title, but
The problem
that Pistons team did not deserve to win a title.
the problem with that team is they shouldn't have ran the triangle with that squad.
Yeah.
Gary Payton's not a triangle point guard.
No,
And they kinda messed up Gary Payton that year.
And neither is Karl Malone.
Karl Malone could deal with it though,
Yeah,
but I mean that injury.
Well, but
Karl Malone
Karl-
had never got hurt his whole career, and then gets
No.
hurt that year, and
No.
it just
but Carl and Shaq both being such pillars in the post.
Yeah.
I think that
Too hard.
it gets a little bit too too congested down there.
When Slava Medvedenko gets a lot of minutes in the NBA Finals.
It's not a good look.
But
not a good
Eldon
look.
Campbell did win an NBA championship. Did you guys know that?
He did.
With the Pistons that year against the Lakers.
He did.
Balding. Real quick, another trivia question. I don't think anybody in the room will get it but me. Who was the last player to wear number 24 with the Lakers before Kobe took it over? And he actually wore it the year before Kobe took it over.
Devin George?
Which is funny because when Kobe announced...
No, Devin George was like...
some 0 or something weird.
Here's
like
the funny
9
thing. When it leaked that Kobe was changing his number, it was still the season before, and it leaked. There was a player on that team with that number.
And he was traded.
He was given the opportunity to
You're
play
gone.
somebody else.
All right, this guy was a really good college player.
Oh, Mark Madsen.
Nope. I'll give you a hint. He played for Ohio State.
Ohio State.
He was a veteran at this time.
Dang,
Ohio State.
This might have been his last team he played on. He might have played one more
Brian
year.
Grant.
Nope.
Lawrence Funderburk.
Nope.
Wasn't Jim Jackson.
Jim Jackson.
All right, good job.
I forgot Jim Jackson played for the
He
Lakers.
was.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't after that season.
Yeah.
Hey,
They wished him the best in all future endeavors.
If you look at Jim Jackson's the teams he's been on, you probably forgot half those teams.
It's true.
He played for a lot of squads.
Did he catch a
Tony
ring?
Braxton.
Oh gosh.
I'm so done with you. So done with you.
Chris Paul's
Unbreak
hurt.
his heart.
Chris Paul's hurt. He's gonna miss the game. His return against the Clippers.
Boo-hoo.
That's fine.
Who cares?
It's like, didn't he just come back? Like,
That's fine.
Yeah.
and this-
Came back
He-
10.
he's
11
always
Yeah,
hurt.
I was about to say
He's-
he literally was back for a week.
He's like Blake. He stays hurt.
It's not on Blake. It's not Blake's fault.
Hey, that's
It's
real
not,
though.
you're right.
So when we're talking about the playoffs and Chris Paul being healthy and the Rockets can't win with just James Harden.
Nope.
And
Negative.
with Chris Paul playing like this, I just don't see him being healthy. Even when he comes back, he's injury prone.
That's Rice Krispies.
And
treats.
we've
That's
seen him in the
snap,
last
crackle,
4 or
and
5
pop.
years doing the same thing.
Snap,
It's
crackle,
the
and
same.
pop.
It's the same thing. He's not going to stay healthy. I mean, if you sat him out and he just did not come back until Game 1 of Houston versus the Rockets, by Game 3 he's going to be out the rest of the playoffs. It does not matter. Like, he is not going to make it.
Here you go. You said Houston. You said he's going to come back for Houston versus the Rockets.
Oh, he did say that.
You know what I meant?
I was
Houston,
worried about. I was like, why is he
Yeah.
jingling the chain?
Houston,
What happened?
I don't know
Houston
what-
versus Golden State. Everybody knew what I was talking about.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't. I didn't.
Well, that wouldn't be in the first round either.
I
exactly. I didn't know what you
I
were
don't
talking
know.
I said the first game.
You have
of
to
the
remember they're
series.
what
Put
one
the chain on,
They're
Steve.
a game.
Just put the chain on.
They're one game ahead of the Steph Curry-less
Just
Warriors.
put that chain on.
I think people, because everybody's like, well, Houston will be the 1 seed, and then
No, they're
Golden
not.
State's gonna have
No,
to
they're
fight
not.
through. Going to have to fight through the Spurs and the Warriors. I'm like, no, I think by the end of the season,
Golden
when
State's-
Draymond and Steph are back playing healthy, and KD's been tearing everybody up, and Clay is Clay, I have a feeling they'll still be the 1 seed.
Golden
And-
State's been missing 4 players the last 2 weeks and still been winning most of their games.
I hope they shut KD down or at least give him some rest. Like when the
They
other
will.
They
guys,
will once they're
when,
back.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
the other guys get back, I hope that they at least I hope.
But he
Steve
doesn't even have
manages
to
him.
try hard. That's the great thing about Kevin Durant. It's so effortless.
Yeah.
And-
I mean, he's
and-
putting in effort, but it's just he's not
Yeah.
having to strain anything
Yeah.
to do everything.
Before we move on to other sports, I wanted to talk about real quick about Steph Curry, because we've talked about his ankle injuries before. There was talk at the beginning of his career that the injuries were not going to be like his career was going to be short.
That was it.
They didn't think he'd be able to, be a great player from the injuries he's had. Is this ankle injury because he was supposed to come back by Christmas, and now they announced it's going to be another couple weeks? Is this maybe more serious than we think, or are they just trying to rest him to make sure it doesn't become something more serious?
If the playoffs were tomorrow, he'd be playing and he'd be fine. I don't think he
fine.
has that problem as much anymore.
All right.
If you notice that, I think this is being super cautious, because why wouldn't you be? Steph was playing out of his mind. Let him come back 100% healthy. They've won 10 straight games with no Steph, usually no Draymond. Yesterday they won without Steph, Draymond, Iguodala, Livingston, and Zaza. Well, Zaza is probably addition by subtraction.
and we
but
know
still.
we know they're winning games.
Quinn Cook
We
is
know
starting for them with JaVale McGee.
We know they're winning games without him, but when it comes to playing in a series, you're not winning without Steph Curry.
No. Not when-
You're
not
not
when-
beating Cleveland
not when
without
the-
which is
not
why
when
they're
the-
which is why they're
That's why
staying
they're
healthy.
that's why they're resting.
I think that's why they're resting him. But I do think there is something to his ankle injuries. But I think I don't think it's a big deal right now. But I think that you will notice most of the injuries he's ever had have been with that ankle, and I think as he gets older, I think his career is going to be cut short by a bad ankle.
Well,
But see,
I'll say
they're
this.
being super cautious. He's not coming out until he's 100%. I mean, like they're winning games with a lineup that has the starting lineup that has Quinn Cook, a rookie,
Their
and
G
JaVale
League
McGee.
lineup is still
Yeah,
better
right.
than 90% of the
And
league.
They don't
he doesn't
need
he
him
doesn't
to play right.
He doesn't
Yeah.
jump too high when he shoots his jumpers anyway.
Well,
So
Yeah.
I don't think his career would necessarily be cut short.
Steph's whole thing, the whole reason that his ankles have gotten better is because that he started working out differently. He started doing band workouts. He started taking his workouts even more serious. And Under Armour, as much as we kind of get on them and the shoe design, those shoes are ugly, but they're built for him.
Well, they're built to
They're built-
protect him.
And in the one year that they go against their natural grain and start building a more sleek, sexy looking shoe for him, ankle happens again. Is like, God bless. But I think I like to Dave's point, I feel that he's okay, but I think that they'll be fine. They'll be fine. He'll be fine. He knows he knows his body now. It's not so much of an issue. It's not fractured. It was just a bad sprain.
Yeah.
Look, he's got ankle brace sponsors now. Like he'll be fine.
Well, plus you have a super smart coach and organization who will stand in his way, and it's like, no,
we
you're not coming back yet.
Right. Yeah.
You'll be back when you are 100%,
Yeah.
and we will run you through every test to make sure that. Until then,
There's
like
no
I said,
point.
we'll keep winning.
And
It
like
won't
Dave
be
said-
as good.
Like Dave said, they're half a game behind Houston now.
He was warming up prior to the game the other night. And was doing all of his dribbling stuff. Like he looks.
Yeah,
he,
trust
and
me,
he'd be
he
fine.
could play right now.
He'd be fine.
That's the beauty of their system is that you know what, one man goes down, two men go down.
Plug and play.
Fine. We got other guys to step up so they can take a whole another 2-3 weeks off if they feel like it. You know, I mean, whatever it takes to make sure that this guy is not just good enough to play, but he's 100%. That's what I love to see as a basketball fan, knowing that I'm not a Golden State fan or a Steph Curry fan per se, but I don't want him to come back unless he is 100% because I want him to play and entertain me for the next 5, 10, however long he can, and not become as we were talking about, a Grant Hill.
But look what this
some
does
other
also
case.
for like a Jordan Bell and all these other guys that they're
It makes
getting
them
off
better.
the deep bench.
Exactly.
They're getting minutes.
They're, a rookie like Jordan Bell, who we thought had good defensive talent. I mean, he's contributing
He's playing really
to
good.
Yeah.
a
playing
team
really
that's
good.
probably the best team in the league right now. Definitely the best team when everybody's healthy.
Yeah.
And they
Right.
just keep getting deeper simply because of the plug and play.
Yeah.
And
They're
this
allowing people
Yep.
to play.
this develops these injuries also give them the challenge that they need because all together they're bored. How many times are they dropping behind teams by like
Yeah.
20 and you're
Yeah,
just like,
ain't
Just to come back and
Yeah.
oh,
forth.
now they'll wake
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they do. So it's not
That's
like
so
it's
crazy.
hurt them.
That's not even a death sentence. Like, oh, we're down
Not
20.
remotely.
They've come back
All
like
right.
4 or 5
We'll be
times this
fine.
season to win a game down by 20.
We'll be
I've seen
fine.
them start like the beginnings of games like absolute garbage, and then it's like, oh, they're not even playing yet. You can tell.
Yeah.
Then they cut back on the turnovers. Clay starts getting a little warm. KD lights somebody up, and you're fine.
Yeah. It's
And I don't even know why this one's a story, but Cavs announced Isaiah Thomas won't play on Christmas, which we all knew
He's
that.
not playing till
Yeah,
January.
yeah,
I still think that I don't think that Isaiah Thomas is going to be a good fit there. I'll stick with that, so you guys can all remember it when he comes back, and make fun of me when I'm wrong.
I'm
think he will.
interested. I'm interested. I mean, I think
it'll take a while though.
I think he'll be fine. Does that put them over the edge to beat the Warriors? I think not.
My question is, he needs the ball. Like even Kyrie doesn't need the ball as much as Isaiah Thomas needs the ball.
Yeah.
How does he work with LeBron James
That's
when you're
ball-
down the
that's
stretch and
ball
serious?
dominant.
Because and LeBron James should have the ball. He's the best player. He's the best player on planet Earth.
Yeah.
He should have the ball in his hands.
Say it, Josh.
It's
Say,
always
say
it's
it,
always
Josh.
begrudgingly.
LeBron is
I'm
the
always
best
just
player.
like I'm always just like
Listen, we don't have to like it. I prefer Kevin Durant as a player, but he's better.
And Thomas practiced with the canon charge of the G League.
yeah,
earlier.
I heard they were sending
Yeah.
him down to get some G League games, which
Yeah.
I thought was very Like, well, I think more teams should do it. It's very, very awkward
Yeah.
now. Like, whenever you do hear it, you're like, ooh, we're doing that.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like more teams
It's kind
should.
of common now, though,
Well,
right?
well, people are starting to do it more, and I wish that they did it even more, especially with their stars, because it would invigorate their G League teams.
Well, and I think that's the
And-
whole G League
Yeah.
marketing and,
Well,
and
it
why
would-
the Gatorade's even
It
sponsoring
would
the
be
G League.
perfect. I mean, the major leagues do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
rehab
Yeah.
assignment.
And
that's the
that's
thing
what
is
that's
they
where
run
they're
the same
going with the G
systems.
League.
Yeah.
They're pushing towards that.
Yeah,
to where
I-
it's more of a
yeah.
farm
I,
system
I
for
hope
the team.
I hope that they do that more, simply because it does give juice to those teams.
And
Those
let's
teams for a week burst can say, "Hey, Michael Jordan's gonna be playing." Yeah, I mean, like
Right.
it
Yeah,
just amps up their own team. Like, he's coming back from injury.
Yeah.
You go down there and like, shoot, let him drop.
well, how many
70.
times do I mean? I've went to 51's games only when a major league player is coming back from injury.
Yeah,
Right.
To to be able to watch them play for $5. You
that's
know what
right.
I'm saying?
That's right. And it'll
Um,
be packed out.
Exactly. So talking about the G League, your boy Lavar Ball wants to start his own basketball league, which is, I like the idea behind it for the players, because we've talked about this a million times. These players are getting manipulated by the college system, by the NCAA. They're not getting paid. So now, if you want to play, we could pay you over here, and we could have like the top recruits that don't want to go to college play in this league.
Do you want me to tell you just how mad I am by this?
You're mad.
Not mad at him. I'm
Mad at the
because
idea?
no, because I actually had the idea, but mine was to do stuff overseas and to
Okay.
put a team together, and I was gonna call it Gap Year, and do exactly this.
Yeah.
We had to figure out basically how we were gonna pay the players. I don't feel like the players are getting paid enough.
And so he says he's going to pay the
10,000,
3,000
3,000 minimum.
to 10,000 for the
Yeah.
best players
Oh yes,
So-
that's terrible.
Won't be enough.
per month.
That's not enough.
Which, if you're making, but here's the thing: if you
They get dropped more money out
okay,
of college.
but
Yeah.
obviously colleges are starting to get in trouble for that. So there's a lot of players and
Only a
coaches
few.
that
No,
might not want to.
but the vast
That
majority,
might not want to touch that.
But the vast majority are still like, everyone's paying. Everyone.
Yeah.
And most people are like, if I'm a good player, I'm getting paid 3 and 4 times. I'm not getting paid just from
Yeah.
Quan.
Right.
I'm getting paid by Dave. I'm getting paid by Steve.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've accumulate over those payments. I might be up
Yeah.
to 400 or 500 grand. Like,
All right. Well,
you know
But
what I'm saying?
those are-
I'm going to let you know why LeVar Ball's league will not work
Uh-oh.
and might not
Ooh.
even get off the ground. So you can skip college now to go play for LeVar Ball's team for $3,000 to $10,000 a year.
Yeah.
Or,
just
or
go
a
to-
month.
A month.
Or just
a
go
month.
straight to the G League.
And that's exactly why I'm killing his league, because the G League is the same exact thing.
Yep.
Last year they were paying
Now it's
So-
up to 70,000.
they were paying
minimum.
something like 15
Yes.
to 26,000 for the six months, I guess.
Yeah, that was the low. That was the lowest.
Yeah.
The lowest it could go.
But now with Gatorade taking over, they're actually paying players a lot more.
Yep.
And there's opportunities for players to make a lot more.
And you're already in the NBA pipeline.
You're already in the NBA. You're playing with the NBA
coaches.
If you're playing with the South Bay Lakers, you're playing with their system already.
Yep.
You're playing with coaches and ex-players that are coaches from the NBA.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think LeVar's league is going to get off the ground. He might do the league. It's not going to do what he wants it to do. The G League is trying to do that anyways.
Yeah.
Well,
So
at
if
the-
college players want to skip college, you can go to the G League, make money, and be in the NBA system
And see,
already.
that
But-
was the whole thing with my whole concept. It was basically, I wanted to pay each guy around 150, 200 grand, and get to the point where I had a McDonald's All-American, 2, 3, however many, and just travel to different countries, play like a college schedule. You're not trying to kill them. You know what I mean? Play 30 games, 25,
Yeah.
30 games. And have them all live in a house in LA and basically have them train, and everybody. It would be a team. Like, you
Yeah.
would still be a team, but it would
so
be
the whole
a team.
league or just one team?
It would no. I would
One
just
team,
I just
okay.
had one team, and I would be playing professional teams from overseas.
Okay.
That was the whole concept.
I think at the end of the day, in his own way, LeVar will still win because it'll force the G League to come out there more and say, we will take guys straight out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't have access to the NBA stuff, but they will be in the G League system, so we can actually get a legitimate look at these guys. They don't have to fake being students
Yeah.
and all this other nonsense. So I think he'll force that out there more. So at the end of the day, he can always say, "Oh, I called attention to it.
Yeah.
They're doing the right thing by these
And
kids."
here's what I also think it forces. It forces the rule to be broken and college and players to be able to skip college altogether and go to the NBA.
I don't think Adam Silver likes this rule. I think it's going to be gone.
But this is
soon.
what I
yeah.
think. See,
Yeah, I think because now they could draft the player and be like, okay, you're getting drafted to play in the G League. If you're good enough, then we'll bring you up.
and I think that's why I want his league. I want it to happen. Will it be successful? For the reasons we're talking, that's why I don't think it will last long, because the NBA will adapt, the G League will adapt, all these things will adapt.
I don't think he'd be able to get players.
But I think he's going to
That's the
force
struggle.
them to adapt. And that is the biggest struggle, is getting players, getting people to get the whole education out of their head, because nobody is going for an education to college anyway.
Well, you can still
But
go to
it's
college
getting-
without playing college sports.
Right,
I
of course.
I don't ever like that argument.
But right, but that's the argument that some people will push.
A lot of
in
people
these,
are, yeah.
right, that people will push. But the thing is like like you were saying earlier, is when you got guys in these players' heads saying, "Look, I'm going to give your mom $100,000. You just can't touch it yet. I'm going to give your mom $50,000. I'm going to do this for you and that for you." And in their mind, it's like, okay, $350K is coming in, or $8K a month, $10K a month playing in this
It's
league.
not the same.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's different.
And you can't
it's gonna
tax
be
that into the
hard.
table money.
Right. And it's gonna be
You
be
can't.
hard to get players into this league. But just the league being there and it happening, I think it forces the G League or the NBA to take that step and go, you know what?
Well, but the
This
see,
is what
but-
we're gonna
well,
do.
but
And
the
there's still
thing-
people waiting for their big baller shoes, so I don't know where he gets his money to start the league and pay
I
players.
hate you. No, but my thing is the G League has been doing this. Ever since the rule was instituted, the G
Yeah.
League was essentially there, but the only problem was the G League wasn't paying. So now that the
Right.
G League is actually giving you an option of, hey, I'm a McDonald's All-American.
There's been a
I
couple
could
players
go-
that jumped from college
yeah,
to the G League.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
weren't great players, but they were good.
Exactly. Like, it's I really think it really just comes back to what you're saying, and that was kind of our biggest issue. I know my guy Will that I work with on this whole concept. He's not happy that I'm talking about it on air, but yeah, I mean the biggest concern really is getting to, it's basically you have to be a runner. Like you
Yeah.
have to go to all these high school events. You have to, because that's your farm system. So you have
Yeah.
to know the new kids, get a rapport with them. Okay, not just with them. I also got to talk to the mom and dad. Oh
Yeah.
no, now I got to talk to Uncle Flunky. Like I've
Yeah.
got to,
Uncle
like
Flunky.
I have to. There's that in
Yeah.
itself, to put together a team of 9 to 11 to 12
Yeah.
is not easy. So that was the whole thing. Like, if we got it going, it was really gonna be like I was really gonna try and just go get ESPN Hot 100s.
Yeah.
Put together a team, and then as it grows, then start getting a couple
Yeah.
McDonald's All-Americans. Because if you get a couple McDonald's All-Americans, like these kids are going to the league.
And I think-
They're going to the league.
True,
I
but
think-
I think your tough part, and I think the part that you ran into, and I think the part that Lavar would run into, is like Michael Porter in Missouri, who's not going to play this whole year, even though, let's be honest, he's healthy enough to play. I don't believe that back surgery thing. He was out shopping in the mall the next day.
Yeah.
The investigators were circling, so it was kind of like, Michael, you need to not be getting on the court. But anyway, but Porter, his whole family is going to Missouri in some capacity, whether to work there or
Yeah.
to go to school there
Yeah.
or anything else. So that's the thing you have to remember. When you're like the G League, you're NBA affiliated, and we're the NBA, we don't have to put up with the nonsense
No.
of your uncle
Right.
or your pastor that's watching out for your affairs, or whoever else it is that's out there that's giving you advice that every college and everybody else
is willing to
has to drop duffel bags
Yeah.
for.
make a. We're
When
gonna
you're the
make a spot on
NBA,
the
you're like,
coaching staff.
this is what you make.
Right.
This is the league you want to come to. So we don't have to entice you more.
no.
We're not recruiting you.
We have
Yeah.
no
You don't
no
like
real,
it, go to college.
Yeah, we have
exactly.
no real
Right.
option.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think the
LaVar
G-
Ball would have to pay everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the part that he's not seeing through this. But I don't think
He might not
actually
know
has
that
the.
necessarily.
Well, no, he
he
definitely knows
knows.
because his son like.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, he coaches. He has an
got,
AAU
he
team.
got
like,
all
I-
three of
he
his.
knows
He
how
got
the
all
system works.
three of his
Yeah.
sons' scholarship to UCLA off the strength of Lonzo. Lonzo going there was like, well, you gotta give a scholarship to Jello and Melo, and Melo was like 12 at that point.
Yeah.
Like Melo's had a scholarship to UCLA since 7th grade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And
like he
Jell-O
knows.
messed it up for everybody.
Was that?
I said, and Jello messed it up for everybody.
No,
Maybe not.
Hey,
No,
he
we-
led,
maybe-
he
let
led
me
the
tell you
team in
something.
steals. All right.
Let me tell you something.
That is freaking great.
Maybe that was all part of the
is
plan.
great.
Maybe.
Maybe that was all part of the
I'm
plan.
not saying
Like,
that that was
listen,
part of the
listen,
plan, but I think the way out might have been part
the
of the
way
plan.
out. The way out was part of the plan because this wasn't just the idea he got 2 weeks ago to start his own league.
I don't think so either.
So this is something he's been thinking about. So get attention, pull the kids out of school, make it a big deal.
Send them to Lithuania.
Send them to Lithuania, and then, oh, by the way, we're starting our own league. And we already have a logo. Like
keeps
that's
the
something
name
that
out.
didn't happen.
Keeps the name out.
Yeah.
What's the name of the league?
Junior
Basketball Association.
That's a bad name.
Won't happen.
Yeah, but
I mean,
That's a
just
bad
for those
idea.
reasons.
JBA and
But
and I give him props for trying and keep pushing other business
JBA
ventures.
sounds okay.
It'll force the
JBA,
G League
yeah.
to come out more and say you can come straight out and go right into the G League.
But I really think that's G League's intentions anyways.
Well, that I
As
mean,
well it should be.
They've said that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
They've
when
been saying
Gatorade
that.
took over, or didn't take over, but they have the naming rights, the marketing. I mean,
They
they're-
took over.
They put they're putting a lot of money into that.
The D League was like, take it.
Yeah. But they did that with the intentions of growing this league. Like it's going to be a legit league, a legit farm system, minor league.
Well, almost
market for the
almost
NBA.
every team has an affiliate now.
Yeah.
It's crazy that not every team.
Because
But
remember, it used to be like 3 teams where the
yeah, it was like
affiliate of
4
this
teams
one
together.
team,
So it's like
and like teams will be
you have
on
to
the
serve
shoulder
4. You have to
together.
serve 4 different interests. That's
Yeah.
a little rough.
That can't work. Not with that few of players.
You got to get past the point. The best possible players need to be going to make money. The rest of the guys absolutely go to college, get an education, and you might burst out of that based on how you develop
burst
in your
through the
talent.
soup.
Yeah,
But you know what? That I
Marvin
even,
Bagley doesn't belong in college this year.
I even think the best players going straight to the NBA makes the college game better because you're having players on teams that are playing 3 and 4 years.
And that
Maybe they're
develop.
not great, but the teams are going to be good. They're going to be more entertaining to watch.
Well, my whole issue with the whole one and done situation is that these coaches recruit these kids for 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years for you to be at my school for literally 5 months.
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's a waste of coaching talent, a waste of time and energy.
And to show
Like-
you,
But these coaches aren't really coaches anymore. They're recruiters.
to show you
Yeah.
how much
So they're making money.
That's
they're not,
that's their
not really
real
about
job.
coaching.
Yeah, that's true.
to show you how much the whole education argument is a joke, you just pointed out that these people go to college for 5 months.
That's it.
What education does anybody get in 5 months at a college?
Nothing.
None. But for some reason, the whole point of them doing 1 year in college is to get an education. Let's end that argument now. There is no education happening. These
Well,
guys
I
are
think
going.
I think the whole point is, as far as like them wanting to keep them in college for 1 year, is not really for the education. As far as learning book stuff, it's more of like growing as a person, like
not at all.
going from
Not at all. You
I'm talking about
you know
the
what you
NBA.
learn. You know what you learn with but see what you learn with the college thing is you learn how to get used. You learn how to get used by a coach making multi-millions of dollars that really doesn't care that you're not getting any education. I don't care what they say. If you're a coach at one of the major programs, you're bringing the best. Look, you've been watching this kid Trae Young at Oklahoma. That kid can play. He does not need to be in college right now. He's leading college in scoring and assists.
He
He can be in the league.
like 20-something assists the other day.
Yeah, he had 27
the
assists
one
in
that
a
had-
college
yeah,
game.
Is that, the
22
one,
assists.
is that the one that had 22?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All
And
right.
he,
I
and
did not
he
know.
rains threes.
27
He's
I think
he's
27
fine.
point-
No, you're
22
22.
assists.
You're 22.
Yeah.
I saw 22, and
And
I was
do you-
like,
do you
you
think
know how
he's
hard it is
getting
to
in-
get 5 assists in college?
But that's what I'm saying. But he had points too. That's like 20-something
Yeah.
points as well.
Do
Like,
you think he's getting
sick,
any
bro.
education at Oklahoma if he doesn't want to?
Yeah, after the games, he's hitting the books real hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
He's
you
hitting
want- that's what I'm
something.
supposed to believe. Yeah.
Unless you're a player
It ain't
that's
books.
if you're going to school for multiple years, you're not. It's not in your interest to be sitting there and being a high caliber student.
I mean, Ben
Because you need to
Simmons
be
dropped
working
out
on
of college
your real
right,
money.
right when they were eliminated from the tournament.
Yeah, that was
but,
it.
But see,
Yeah.
the thing is, he was more pronounced. Well, he was more pronounced about it because he didn't go to the tournament. What nobody talks about is every one of these guys. The moment that their team is done in the tournament,
They're
like
out.
Ben Simmons is more flashy because his college career, it was a disservice to him because he took the money and went to some place that he was led to that had no real basketball program.
Hey,
But
you
the-
leave it alone. I sent a kid to LSU. Craig Victor was there. He was Ben Simmons' teammate.
Yeah, but you know that Craig did Craig have a great
Crickets.
basketball experience?
Hey, he had a good year. He was all right. I
was
saw
all right.
him.
all right.
He had a
Hey,
couple-
Ben
he had a
Simmons.
couple
Ben
TV
Simmons
games.
was a really good player, and then you saw him like midway through the year. It's like, no, you staying out here getting hurt.
pretty much.
And that's the problem. It's just nobody talks about it, but all these guys, no matter how deep they make it in the tournament, if they're going,
Exactly.
Yeah.
they're shutting it down immediately for college, and it's like, well, it's time to train to go do what I'm supposed to do.
I'll be over
Right.
at Impact if y'all need me.
Yeah, exactly.
And look, college ain't going nowhere. People act like, oh, if you don't get that education right then, it's gone. Like, I'll be 38 next month. I can go to college tomorrow if I wanted to. Like, you can go to college at any time.
They
But
won't let you in
basketball,
because you're injured.
But probably, maybe, yeah. I couldn't start.
You're
but,
handicapped.
you know,
You're handicapped.
But no, I mean,
They're not letting it in.
Shaquille O'Neal graduated years later.
Yeah.
Vince Carter, there was
Yeah.
a big issue with him going to his graduation during the playoffs against Milwaukee.
No.
I want to say.
No, that was versus the Sixers.
That was
Philly,
against
Philly.
Sixers, yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't play. Yeah.
We're
In
talking about
2001.
That's-
Milwaukee
That was before Game 7.
yeah, Milwaukee
That
was
was
yet
the
to
game
be
that we
robbed.
lost.
Milwaukee
So-
was yet to be robbed.
So
in
I was
that
there.
series.
that's my point. College ain't going nowhere. These guys can go back at any time they want
You said Milwaukee was yet to be
and
robbed.
go back to school.
By that Sixers team and the refs.
No.
That was a. Yeah.
That was a bad one.
No.
Yes. 100%.
They didn't want Milwaukee going to the finals.
Look it up.
That
They
couldn't
did
happen.
not
Look it up.
Oh no, I remember.
Oh, you can't because
Well, look,
it's
well,
never
no,
on
look,
TV.
I'll put it to you like this though. That Sixers team, had Theo Ratliff not gotten hurt that year, shout out to Theo, they would have beat your Lakers.
I wish I could agree with that, but I
No,
can't.
listen to what I'm telling you, right?
Quan's about to explode.
No,
bro.
it's okay. Quan can explode. Listen to what I'm telling you, all right?
All right.
Pre-injury, because
Uh-huh.
remember that was Theo's
I like
all-star.
Theo.
That was
He was
Theo's
dope.
all-star year.
He was a Laker.
Theo at that point in his career was running, and the whole team was run and gun. Allen was run and gun. Everyone on the team could run the fast break with Allen. They ran out to that like 52 and like 15, right? Like they were like killing the league, and Theo got hurt. He got hurt pre-All-Star game, broke his wrist. His season was over, and then they traded him for Dikembe. That changed the whole. That like Dikembe was. Oh my God, he was old. It was done. He was already finished at that point. Like them bringing him in, that set up more of a half-court team. The whole structure of the team changed, and that wasn't really who they were that year.
True, but all complete respect to Theo, who was a very good player. Shaq would have gone right through him like everybody else.
True, but
They were calling invisible fouls or they weren't calling fouls on players because we can't just keep calling fouls. Matt Geiger was hitting Shaq every single play, like
Everybody
hard.
hit Shaq every single play. You couldn't do anything else.
And you
all
had to
you
be
could do is fight.
selective.
All you could do is fight.
You had to be selective with your foul calls because you're going to foul out every single player that
Yeah.
guarded
They
Shaq in
didn't
that
want that.
series.
Very true.
I can't see that team. That team did not have enough to beat Shaq and Kobe, especially the way that team got rolling in the playoffs.
They might have got 2 games instead of 1.
Yeah, he might have. He might have helped them win another, or they might have won that same game. Who
Eric
knows?
Snow's not winning a championship.
That's true.
You leave Snowy alone. You leave Snowy out of this.
My favorite Sixer is Aaron McKee from
Aaron
that
McKee,
team.
and well, no,
Because he went to Lakers and got traded for Pau Gasol.
Aaron was Jerome's rookie. Aaron's
Okay.
a good guy.
I like Aaron
He
McKee.
I
was
liked
in
Aaron McKee.
Detroit.
Yeah,
he was in
he was
Detroit.
good.
He was a good
Temple
guy.
out.
Out
Yep.
of Temple University.
Yep.
Yep.
Who was Temple's coach back then, Steve?
John
Come on.
Chaney.
I have no idea.
This guy.
I knew that too, but we were
Dave
all
Hardy.
looking at Steve.
Dave's the answer key.
I'm like, I have
Dave's
no
the
idea.
answer key all day for every question.
John Chaney with the black circles around.
Who was it that followed him? Fran Dunphy.
I have no
That I
idea
don't
after,
know.
after that. Bill Cosby.
You could.
All right, let's move on real quick.
Jello funny.
Some very interesting news out of the WWE. You guys ready for this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon had the XFL before, right?
Oh yeah, he's bringing it back.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily bringing the XFL back, but he just sold all his shares for WWE. 150 million, something like that.
What? I didn't hear that.
Thanks ESPN. Thanks Brand New Internet for not loading. While I'm trying to talk about it.
That's a
He
news
sold,
story.
He sold
Yeah,
all
I didn't
of
know
his
he
shares?
sold it. He sold
Him
the
selling all
shares.
his shares is that company being
Listen.
sold.
That's
Yeah, I read
like, that's a very
about
big deal.
him
Well,
starting
his
a new
son's-
football league.
His son. That's where we're getting at, Steve.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Stephen.
Well, selling. I didn't read this part. So
I didn't
Yeah,
hear
I
it.
mean,
I didn't
sold,
actually read the article.
If ESPN in my computer wasn't breaking, I could pull it back up.
Go ahead. ahead,
show it to you guys.
Death Star.
But
What you
Death
got?
Star Dave, here it goes. He sells $100 million worth of WWE shares to help fund sports-focused company.
Oh, he didn't sell the WWE. He sold
No, he
150.
sold his shares.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, he
Oh.
sold some of his shares.
Well,
he has a lot more
oh,
shares.
okay.
Their initial
Sells a portion of his
Yes,
shares.
he still says I
The-
51% of the time.
Yeah,
I.
well,
The eyes have it.
ESPN's clickbait
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
look different, but then when you open it up,
Oh,
sells.
all right. The
100
truth-
million
the truth
worth.
came
Yeah,
out.
I'm looking it up. 100 million worth.
Well,
but
because
that's-
even that, his kids have how many shares?
Yeah.
It's in the family.
Yeah.
But he's trying to start another football league, and I think this time he probably learned a lot from the XFL. You're looking at what the NFL went through this year. I think we all agree the NFL has been hard to watch. The commissioner's been hard to deal with. The inconsistency has been horrible. The play hasn't been great.
But you still can't compete up against the NFL.
You can't compete.
Oh,
You
here,
just
sorry,
can't.
sorry, not to derail this too much, but I just read something that says it represents, by most estimations, about 4.3% of his. He still owns 82 point something percent of WWE.
$100 million. That's
But
fine.
he sold the
Scrooge
shares.
McDuck just
Fine.
gave you $200.
I'm-
But
I'm
he sold the shares to help fund the
New
the
league.
company,
Yes.
the new company. Do you guys think another pro team or pro league would work if you build it the right way and you're patient with it? We saw the USFL back in the day. There's been
Competing leagues.
success. They just haven't done it right.
But here's where your problem is. I hear I've read something, and this may or may not be true, that part of this is because he doesn't like the anthem protests and stuff like that. So he's going to try to just go to the hardline
WFL?
racist,
So you
hardline
build,
racist
you build
folks.
a racist league to
a racist league to
see, I didn't hear
try
that.
to get black players in there. I'm sure that'll go
look,
well.
well, I'll say this. Do you want to know
They'll
where
all
it could,
wear he hate
you want to
me.
know where it could work? It actually could work in the southern states that don't have NFL franchises.
That would be the best spot to do it.
If you did something and you actually built a league or built some subsect of a league that was mainly in either major markets and then in the South where they are misrepresented, you could have a chance. But even in having a chance, what does that even mean? You still own, like, it's like basically with Adidas and Nike, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, such and such Adidas just took over the number 2 spot from Jordan brand, and it's like, so Nike's number 1 and number 2 essentially, like, you know what I mean? What is your market share? Your market share is 0. Like, if I'm fighting and killing myself to get 3% share, what the heck am I really fighting for? Like, it's
Have you seen that new Adidas commercial, by the way, with everybody in it?
Which
They're like around a table all talking about different
No.
things. It's like everybody signed to Adidas
Yeah.
is in that. Pharrell,
Yeah.
Pusha T, and all the players.
I thought it was a terrible commercial. It
haven't
showed me how
you
much
missed me
better
with
Nike
Pusha
was.
T.
Oh, Pusha
I
T.
mean-
Yeah.
What song
By the
was
way,
that?
shout
He's had
out
to deal with them for a while.
shout out to Kung Fu Kenny's Cortez special editions.
Oh yeah.
Those are nice. I couldn't pull them off, but they're nice.
All right, Steve. Vince McMahon Football League, the VMFL. No, that's not
It's a no
Oh,
for
I
me,
was
dog.
like, what?
I mean, you know what, man? Like, I don't see it working for 100 reasons. The top reasons are
top 5 reasons. I got 7 of them.
I mean, I mean, all right. You have the NFL, and for all its successes and failures, the next best football league we have is arguably, it's either, if you say professional, it's the Canadian Football
CFL,
League,
easy,
which is
easy.
terrible. After that, I mean, it is what it is. But how many people can name
That's
more
pretty
than
bad.
one team on the Canadian Football League?
a lot of
I mean,
Canadians.
The
it's-
Alouettes.
yeah, Canadians
the
and Dave.
Argonauts,
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
The
so-
Rough Riders.
I was gonna say some like Tiger Sharks or something.
It's the
some
Tiger
weird.
Cats.
and we
Hamilton.
are
The
not
Las Vegas Posse.
No,
and we
they're
are
not
not
there anymore.
average or we are not even average football. I would say this is a room full of above average sports fans right now. So
Fair enough.
look at that league.
Dave
Look
coulda
what
kept
the
going.
look what the players in that league make. Look what the stands look like when they have that league.
No,
However,
their stands are packed.
it's
In
They're
been
the
just so
going.
far away because
this is-
the end zone is so big.
Yeah,
It's been going. That league has been going for a
for
while.
generations.
And yet
And it's lasted a long
nobody.
time.
There's no. It's always like I want to go to the NFL, and if you can't make it, and you've been locked out, and you're not good enough, or for whatever reason you don't get drafted, I'll give the CFL a shot before I try to get a job like a normal person.
Well,
I
look,
mean,
you
there's
see what I'm
players that
saying?
have
the
went
Arena
there.
League
There's
couldn't
players,
even stay alive.
but there's players that have went to the CFL that just wanted to play more.
Yeah. No.
Because
Well,
they still pay. It's not like they're not getting paid at all.
The CFL was a backup plan, and I think
there's too many
both
football
of your
players
point,
to not have.
Well, here's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
But this is my point. Right now, Vince McMahon's league is still below the
Five
CFL.
tiers
Five,
below.
many
Yeah.
tiers below. And
Well, 'cause
if
it
it
hasn't started
starts,
yet.
he would just have
the
to pay.
best- yeah,
he would
the-
have to pay. There would have to be a lot of like securities involved that would even
And what
entice
does
a player to
what
want to
does
go.
his league offer for a player or a fan that the NFL does not offer?
Shoot.
What's going to make me want to watch his league and not the NFL?
I'll put it to you like this:
Will there be
that,
steel chairs on the field?
that
Because I watch that.
that flag football league is probably in better shape than the Vince
The
McMahon.
lingerie
this
football
is
league?
this is
No, the flag. The
Oh, the
flag
flag
with the
This is,
but the lingerie football
it's
league
from-
is in better shape.
Yeah.
yeah.
Way better shape.
Yeah.
But no,
Fair
this
enough.
is this is the issue is nobody's, and also nobody, as much as people love football, nobody's asking for this.
Right.
People don't want
More football.
we already have too many bowl games. I think we have too many NFL teams. There's too many NFL games.
You think there's
Much
too many NFL teams?
How many quarterbacks are there?
Yeah.
8.
I mean,
A
that's
strong 8.
That's
Real
the
tough.
point. And then now you
After
have a
8,
league.
it gets-
You
it gets
have a
thin.
league that's basically going to be. There are not going to be quarterbacks in this league. More than likely, there will not be quarterbacks in this league better than the mid-grade NFL
Unless they sign
quarterbacks.
Colin
which
Kaepernick.
they
Well,
suck by
Forget
that point.
Colin Kaepernick.
He's
They're not
going-
gonna
he's-
get
Colin's
they're
going
gonna
Vince
to the
McMahon
Panthers.
ain't signing
they're
Colin
big.
Kaepernick.
I will
This
promise you,
league-
if this league happens, they will have one big signing. I will guarantee it.
But-
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's it.
definitely.
Hands
Definitely.
down. Johnny
that's it.
Manziel will be
Yeah.
the face of that league.
Hey, but see, in a
For
situ-
worse and worse.
But for a situation like that
That'd
would
be
be a
good.
very good signing. But
Yeah.
like I said, I think that he would have to pay. Like he would have to pay guaranteed
Yeah.
crazy deals.
And Vince McMahon's too racist to be going
And
after Colin Kaepernick.
I was just
Dang,
about
you
to
think
say,
Vince is racist like that?
Look at
it's
the
not
history
gonna
of
be-
black champions.
it's not going to be too many minorities in
Get
this
back to
league.
me on that.
I mean, so yeah, like
Hey,
look at Vince
Booker T,
McMahon's track record.
Mark
Booker T.
Henry.
Mark Henry. They weren't even like the top champions. That's when they'd have like 2 belts.
That is all.
And then
The
how
Rock is
long?
half,
I mean,
but nobody
like,
acts like it. They
Yeah.
keep to the Samoan side with The Rock.
That's true. That's true. The Rock.
And
Rock would
Jumanji
be
was
one.
really good, by the way.
Yeah,
You
you
did
can
not
you
wanna
can
check
you
that
can
out.
get back to me
It was
with any
good.
of the rest of the black
It's funny.
champions they
Yeah,
had out there.
I mean-
You can hit me up
Who
later.
else? Who else is it?
There is no one else.
Is that it?
That is the list.
Wow.
Yeah,
Junk it up, bro.
Junkyard Dog never won.
Nope.
Look at
Hulk Hogan talked like he was black.
No. No, he just said a particular word.
No, he talked like he was black.
Just
Yeah.
he says brother all the time.
He wore
Yeah.
black.
Yeah, because he drops the M-bomb a lot.
Look, man.
Most-
I told you. I already told you. We already talked about this.
All right.
Hulk gets a pass from me.
And,
I was a Hulkamaniac.
and listen, we can go back to the XFL, which was his other failed venture with Dick Ebersol and NBC. There's a 30 for 30 on that.
But if it didn't work then,
And that's what I'm saying.
why,
It didn't
why
work.
would this work?
But because, and here's the thing, I'm not sure if it works, but let's take the positives from that. I'm sure he learned a lot about that. And there were good things about the XFL.
were.
It was very entertaining.
The camera, which the
camera
NFL
which
stole, and they still use
NFL uses now.
Which camera?
that overhead.
Oh, that's right. That's
overhead,
right.
yeah.
That's
The
right.
NFL's had a couple games where they broadcast
all-
the
that's
whole
all that they
whole
did.
game off
Yeah.
that camera.
Yeah.
And that was the XFL brought that
Yeah,
in.
they were the first ones bringing
Uh,
cameras on the field and stuff like that.
So
like
there was a
into the
lot
huddle
of
and stuff,
positives,
yeah.
but at the same time, are there enough players to start a whole new league?
It's just
I
gonna be
don't
more
know.
bad.
No,
football.
there's definitely enough players now.
yeah, from
Well,
college.
to start a good
but
competitive league.
it's
Well,
all the
well,
scraps.
no,
it's all the
but-
players that don't make. it.
Shoot, no, but think about it. There's a lot of NFL players that get cut, and then now they're working at State Farm.
No,
There's
I-
a lot. There's a lot of
agree.
those. There's a
I
lot
agree.
of those. So there
They get a lot of
but
discount double checks.
Here,
there,
Yeah.
here would be my bigger worry. That yes, there's a lot of good players that don't make it because they get drafted by the wrong team or they go to the wrong
Yeah.
Sure,
situation.
whatever, just
Yeah.
for
And
a myriad of reasons.
if you switch their spot with one other person's spot, they're a star. Instead, they're out of the
Yeah,
league.
exactly.
I'm sure stuff like that happens a lot. But your flip
100%.
side, there is if you're look at wrestling. Wrestling has no health care, so you're going to have guys out there playing
Yeah.
football
with no health
with
care,
no health care.
negative.
Yeah.
Because trust me, Vince ain't going to give them health care because then he has to go
Wow.
back to the real money makers and tell them,
Wow.
oh, I'm giving these guys that don't make me any money health care,
Wow.
but you guys who make me a ton of money,
Wow.
you get none.
Yeah. look,
You keep paying
if-
for your health care,
if he-
which
if
is
he-
crazy high because of what they do.
if he actually was really, trying to do this, he would have to do it a certain way. And if what you're saying is true, and he's basically trying to be a businessman in this whole thing and not really like just create a good business model, it ain't gonna work. I don't think it gets off the ground. But there are enough players. There's definitely enough players.
I think you just have a rich guy who
thinks
doesn't.
It's a good idea.
Well, no, he doesn't like to lose and doesn't want to give up on something, and plus, I mean, at the same time, he's an old white dude. He doesn't like the way the league is now.
I mean,
so he'd make it his way.
But the other thing too is he's rich. He's been doing WWE for a long time. He might be bored.
$100 million that was 4% of his wealth.
But that's what I'm saying. He's trying to do something else, and it's like if you got the money to venture out and at least try something, might as well do it. It's fun.
And
if I had the money,
not 4% of his wealth, 4% of the company.
And I give him props for that, for trying. I mean, for wanting to do something else. But it's just like the big baller thing. Like I mean, I high five Lavar all day for trying this league, but I don't think it will work. I mean, I want the basketball thing to work, but I don't think it's going to. I don't really care if Vince McMahon league works or not, but I don't think it's going to. Like I don't see a market for it. I don't see why people would turn off one league to watch this one. I don't see where the players will come from. Yeah, they can get enough players on each team, but then you're talking about staff, then you're talking about stadiums, where they're going to play.
Now, the USFL back in the day,
you have to eat all the costs.
The USFL,
their owners.
The USFL back in the day played football during the spring.
Yeah.
So you weren't competing necessarily with the NFL.
Yeah,
the XFL did the same thing.
The USFL failed because they tried to move to the fall and try to compete with the NFL, and that's when they failed. So there's ways to do it. And I mean, somebody with this much money and he's done it before. I mean, granted that XFL only lasted 1 year.
Was it only 1 year?
Well, here's
if it was even.
You know what, Josh? I would piggyback your point. If I thought it was going to work, you put it in an area that doesn't. Stop putting it in cities that have NFL teams.
Yes,
that's stupid. Number one,
LA doesn't need a
number two
team in a new league.
Go small league football mad.
Go to Columbus.
Go
to Ohio State.
Well, go to Texas.
and then here's what I would say. Forget drafts or player placement. Take the people from that state and area. So all the Alabama and Auburn guys that don't make the league, we have a spot for you. All the Texas school guys that don't make the league, we have a spot for you.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon called Dave up. He's free.
That would work. Little bit.
Well, I mean,
that would have a shot to
you would
work.
have a snowball
because
chance.
people would care because you'd be playing in the state where you played college.
Yeah.
With all these people who already know you.
You have a built-in
audience. Which a lot of times you played high school in that same
That's
state.
right. You have a built-in audience.
Yeah.
It's there. I mean, like,
and you could even piggyback off of multiple audiences. Like in the state of Alabama, you could get like Auburn guys and Alabama guys and some UAB guys, thrown in there.
Put them all on the same team and have an Alabama All-Star.
Yeah. And just do it that way. You could maybe make something that at the very least will have regional attention.
That's right.
Because you care about these guys already. Like, I've seen Jalen Hurts for the Alabama quarterback. I don't think he's going to the NFL.
No, he's going to the NFL.
That's what's wrong with the NFL.
You don't think he's going to go to the NFL?
I don't see it.
Really? I will say he is still very young. He is still young.
But say he doesn't make it.
Yeah.
Then you have a league that's in Birmingham.
Yeah.
So it's not in either school city.
They have 3 stadiums right there too.
It's put in Birmingham
Memorial Stadium.
And then you could be like, Jalen Hurts doesn't go to the NFL. Well, congratulations, you have a spot right here on whatever they call the team,
right?
Name. And you put like
the Ku Klux Klan of Birmingham.
you put like 6 or 8 teams.
Right.
8 teams is probably the most you could stretch it to.
Yeah.
You put something in Florida, of course, because there's plenty. You can't walk down the
state.
You can't walk down the street without running into a guy who can play some football in Florida.
Yes,
that's true. State of Texas.
Yes,
right.
Mostly the South. I mean, you probably have to do California because it's so big.
Probably
different parts of California.
But I think.
But then you're like saying state. As much as I hate to say it, state of Ohio.
Yep. Well, or just something Midwest where you catch those Midwest guys.
And they all love that anthem.
If you do regional,
they do love that anthem.
If you do regional, it could survive. I mean, it could survive, but would you want to?
But notice that's how not that it ever thrived, but that's how the WNBA survived there for a while.
Yeah.
For a while there, they didn't have until they were ready to have a draft. They didn't have a draft. So if you played for Connecticut, you played for Connecticut.
That's right.
Yeah.
You played. You played. They kept you in the area where people knew you. It was a smart
Yeah.
decision.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah. For
Makes
some
sense.
years, they don't
Smart.
do it
Makes sense.
anymore.
Yeah, they have their draft
Yeah, I
now,
know
which
that, yeah.
which their draft now is just like crazy.
It's going to be so good this year.
you can-
The Las Vegas
Aces.
Aces have the first pick in the WNBA draft. Where's that draft being held? Is it going to be out here?
Should be here.
I think their draft is still held by fax machine. Like
Wow.
the,
I think
hey,
it's
that's
held
not
in
funny.
like
That's
I think
how the
it's-
NFL used
I
to
think
be.
it's held in the Turner Studios or the ESPN
Yeah,
Studios.
It's somebody's studio. No,
I
I
can swear it's one
actually
of
think it
those.
is ESPN. I think it is on ESPN's property.
Okay.
Well,
I
we'll
wanna
be-
say
we'll-
they've done that in
We'll
the
be going to
past.
many Aces games next season.
That's right.
Who's
definitely wanna
who's the
go.
big player in college this year for women? I haven't watched any women's.
I
games
don't
yet this year.
know.
Oh, the chick from Connecticut.
Somebody on
I'm,
Connecticut.
I'm sure that's a good guess.
Yeah.
Anyone on Connecticut.
Anyone on Connecticut.
If you're on the starting five on Connecticut, you're probably one of the
Yeah.
5 best players in the country.
All right.
That
Jumping
came-
back to WWE, Ronda Rousey soon is going to announce that she's going to be a WWE fighter.
It's a good move.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's a
Great
good
move.
it's a good
Great
move.
Make-
For her,
I-
it's a great move.
I think it's a good move. Does it work so much for the WWE? I don't know, because they actually have really built up their ladies division. And for you to honestly say that any of these girls could do anything to Ronda Rousey ever is lunacy. So that kind of, for me, that like as an actual
But who
sports fan,
says they'll play it that way? If they
she might come in and dominate for a long time like Goldberg.
if they bring her back in as like the dominant, unbeatable Ronda Rousey, you can get a good few years out of that.
Yeah.
And then once you decide to,
But
she'll be like Brock Lesnar. You
there
put her
are
out there
no,
a few times a year.
Listen, Josh,
yeah.
there are no steel
Oh.
chairs in MMA, bro. And you are
those
forgetting
girls
that in
aren't using steel chairs.
In WWE, there's the element of the manager hitting somebody with something in the head. There's all these ways
they'll-
to play
well,
Ronda Rousey
They'll keep
losing.
they'll keep
You see what I'm
Rousey
saying?
clean.
I-
They'll keep
no,
Rousey clean for years.
will.
I
but,
get,
you know.
I get that. I get
And
that.
she's
But
like
what
a
I-
3-4
what I
time a
mean
year
is, like,
attraction.
These
Yeah.
women
If
are
that.
these women are in great shape. They look great. You know what I mean? They're good fighters, but all of them at their core, nobody can touch Ronda Rousey.
But
If
you
Ronda
can-
Rousey wanted to just
Fair enough.
You can
and
say
put
that
you in
about Brock
something
Lesnar
like-
though,
well,
Yeah.
and he's over
no,
there
well,
losing to
well,
Goldberg.
No, but
He's not losing to Goldberg in real life.
We
Right.
had our discussion before on the Big Show when I met Big Show at WrestleMania
Yeah.
and like talked to him, hung out with him, and like Big Show hit the mitt of his hand, literally was like both of my hands
crazy.
Yeah, he
combined.
can mess you up.
And his daggone fingers were this thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when he made a fist,
He could hurt
like,
you
his
for real.
fist was like literally, Steve. His fist was like
Wow.
almost 2 of my fists, and I'm like, so when you're telling me if he hit somebody with a closed hand, fight's over. That's it. Like he has to like really
It's
act
suspension
not to
of
hurt
disbelief.
somebody. You know what I
That's all
mean?
it
So
is.
like
Hey,
I
man.
understand that side of it too, but it's like
Did you really believe that Sacco was like taking people out?
Yeah.
Mankind? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
It's
come on, man. It's
I think X-Pac won fights in the WWE.
Listen,
He did, he
it's
did.
it's gonna
He
be
did.
it'll be a great attraction for them.
D-Generation X.
It's a super smart signing. They'll make a lot of money off of it.
It's like when they signed Mike Tyson.
Definitely.
yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Tyson.
But
This will
I
be
mean,
different
but-
though.
but Mike-
This is gonna be like
She gonna be
she'll
there.
be a regular.
She gonna
she'll
be
be
there.
she'll be
Mike was there for WrestleMania to say, "All right, guys." And
I
that
mean,
was it.
I mean, they signed Shaq and Dennis Carl Malone and
Okay,
Dennis
Jim.
Rodman. Also.
It's gonna be smart. It's gonna be smart.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
yeah.
I need.
And she likes it,
Dave,
so I
I
think
need
she'll get
Dave
into
to
it.
give me his Harold Letterman one more time because that was
the best.
perfect.
That was the best.
I literally was thinking about that in my house, and I'm just rolling to myself randomly, and my girl's like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "It's nothing. It's
You
funny,
won't
but
get
you're
it.
not gonna find it funny, and it's gonna ruin my laugh. So just let me laugh in peace. Give it to me."
All right, Josh. I got the score here. 10-8 round. Steve's foot versus Steve. Steve came out swinging, but I gotta tell you, the foot really took
gosh.
control there late in the round.
That is so accurate. That
That's
is
so great.
If anybody doesn't know the impersonation he's doing, you don't deserve to laugh.
Oh, that's Harold Letterman.
That's good, man.
That was
good.
really good. When you broke that out randomly, I was like, "Oh no, that was too perfect.
Yeah,
that was
that's good.
perfect. That was really good."
Wow.
Wow, that was awesome.
Man, so
Oh.
going back to the UFC,
Too many.
I'm like
initials
looking at
going
both. So many initials. The UFC, it was announced yesterday. Dana White was saying that Floyd Mayweather, they're in talks for Mayweather to fight in the UFC, which didn't make a lot of sense to me at all.
He came back
because
and
he would
said
get
no.
destroyed.
Because it won't.
And so,
Yeah, it
so
didn't make sense
today,
at all.
I like how you guys answer the questions before I'm done. Josh was like, I know the answer.
That's all bad.
But yeah, Floyd came out today and said, like, I didn't say I was going to fight. We're not in talks at all.
he always says that.
Yeah.
He always goes right there. Whenever he does that, I'm like, they're definitely talking.
Well, I'm sure they've talked, but there's not the money.
Listen,
I-
there's not enough money there. The other
Nope.
thing too, he would get destroyed in the UFC.
Oh,
There's no
100%.
chance
He's not going to do that to
Yeah,
himself.
it's-
Why?
he would fight in the UFC.
Not at this age.
No,
It's
he
not
needs,
any age.
he needs about another 20 years and lose a lot of money before this becomes a consideration.
Another 20 years. Oh my gracious.
Floyd ain't fighting in the UFC. I mean, the only thing I can see them talking about is some kind of business deal where Floyd will make a whole bunch of money promoting or training a fighter or finding a way to open up the UFC the way boxing is opened up, where promoters kind of control who fights who or bridging that
UFC
gap or
won't let that
something.
happen.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well,
I don't
no,
see that happening.
No,
just like
no,
I don't
but
see Floyd getting in the ring and fighting
The
or an
one
occasion
thing,
fighting.
the one thing that I do think could happen though is kind of off what you're saying. If he's actually doing this to promote one of his fighters, kind of similar to what Conor and him did,
Yeah.
you know, in the boxing area, in the boxing ring, literally. If he's doing that for one of his fighters to kind of, he's cross promoting them back over to UFC or doing something, because so many fighters have talked about, you know, for whether it's UFC, whether it's what's his name, that Conor fought twice, Diaz.
Diaz.
The Diaz brothers are talking about going into boxing and they want to box now, and like
They'd get wrecked.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a whole different skill set.
It
Do I
is.
think those guys, if you
Look,
make it
man.
a UFC type fight, no boxer has a chance. You put them in a boxing match, they don't have a chance.
Well, what it was funny because what a lot of the UFC fighters were saying as far as Conor was concerned, fighting Floyd, like if they gave Conor one more weapon, like if it was like, okay, Conor, you can use your forearms or you could use your elbow, like they gave him one more weapon, different fight.
No, because
Completely different
then
fight.
Floyd
But
might
then-
have tried. He
but
wouldn't. He
then-
might not have been at Girl Collection all night the night before the
But
fight.
This is what. you
Come
know,
on now.
What people are
Don't talk
missing-
yourself into this nonsense
These
again.
these
Don't tell me-
sports
don't let
these
it go.
sports are not as similar as people think they are. Like people think like, oh, you know, they're both fighting sports, so you know it's
No.
just you're doing this and that.
Not
It
at
is
all.
literally just as different as football is from basketball. It is a completely different skill set. You train
Yeah.
different. You stand different.
That's right.
You think different. The timing is different. The time of the rounds.
Time, I
is
was about to say the time in the ring is different.
Everything that you do is completely different. The only thing is the same is you will get hit. That is the only thing that
That's
they
the
have
only
in
common
common
denominator.
is you will get hit. Okay, so they're so different. You cannot have a guy who's trained at one sport and then say, okay, in 3 months or 6 months, you're going to fight in this whole other thing. It's like taking LeBron James right now saying, LeBron, next month, we're going to have you take Tom Brady's spot on the New England Patriots. As great as that team may be with the greatest coach or whatever,
He can only
is
take
not going to
Gronkowski's
be.
spot.
I was
He
about
is
to
not
say
going to be good.
he was all world tight end wide
He
receiver.
might have-
I think he could
might
play
have
in the
been.
NFL.
He might have been, and maybe he can, but you cannot expect great LeBron to be great in football just on a moment's notice. It just doesn't happen that way.
Not tomorrow.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Not
You see what
tomorrow.
I'm saying? And Mayweather's for 16 years has been dominant in his sport since he was 5 years old. So for 30 years, almost 40 years, he has trained to do one thing, box. And you think 6 months, 12 months of training, all of a sudden he's going to compete with guys who have also trained for 15, 20, 30 years to
exactly
fight
in
in
the way
the UFC.
in this fighting.
It is
yeah.
not going to happen.
No chance.
It
And
does
Floyd,
not
Floyd would
happen.
never allow himself to get embarrassed like that.
No.
Exactly. I mean, it makes no
Unless
sense
it was
at
for
all.
$1 billion.
It just-
Well,
dollars.
and the price wouldn't be right in the UFC for him to even
No.
try to.
Well,
the
well,
U-
no,
the
no,
UFC
but it would,
doesn't
it would
like-
be
they're
another
not gonna
joint.
pay
It would be
him.
another
Yeah.
joint venture. It definitely wouldn't be something where he was going to be lorded over.
Yeah.
It would have to be
Yeah.
something where he had complete control of some
If,
aspect of
if
the
you
fight.
see him
Yeah.
sign for that, I will tell you they ain't taking bets because the fix is in.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's UFC.
Nobody's getting hit. I'll promise you that.
WWE is what that's gonna be. Yeah, it's not. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be. No way. There's no way. You mean to tell me Floyd's gonna get in there and wrestle with somebody?
No,
No,
there's 0%
no
chance.
way.
He
No
didn't even
way.
do that when he was at WrestleMania.
Right. It ain't happening.
Oh,
It's not
can
happening.
we talk about Floyd wearing these platform shoes? Anybody talk about that?
He's small. What are you gonna do?
Do we have enough time for a Star Wars review, or do we have to shut it down?
We got enough.
We
time.
can we can
always
do we
got
can
time
give
for
it 10
Star
minutes.
Wars.
Give it 10.
Yeah, we can. So we can do the countdown for everybody.
We can do the countdown.
All right.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
One.
It's on you now.
Star Wars.
It's too late.
Last Jedi.
If you're still watching at this point, God
Yeah.
bless you.
But we're here live every Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. West Coast time, or 2:30, whenever the computer wants to
It's
start
2:30.
up.
We're just gonna start.
But
saying
we're in the room
2:30.
at 2.
We are all here too.
So if you guys want
Sometimes
to come
Josh is.
visit, Josh is in the kid seat again.
I'm in the bad chair today. My back is through. You ask if we got
If
time.
Josh was sitting here, he'd be like, "Man, I got another hour and a half."
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. My legs are dangling.
He's
I'm
sitting in the
good.
kid seat. He's like, "I'm done." Okay, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. If you guys haven't watched it yet, spoiler alert.
Shame on you.
You're a jerk. And if you're a real fan, I don't like people that say they're real fans of anything and take a week to see it in the theater. It's too easy to have. You have at least one day off a week. It's only 2.5 hours.
Unless
You
you
can go
drive
see the
lift.
movie. Unless you drive Lyft, then you work. But then you
But
work
make
whenever
your own
you want.
schedule, so
You go
can
watch
work-
the movie.
Not really.
Put it around it.
Oh,
You
that
can put
app-
it around it.
That app sings to me.
I hear you.
You're
but
just
you
addicted,
can, you
that's
can get
why.
it early in the
You're
morning.
addicted to it.
You can early in the morning one.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, we all saw it, right?
Steve,
100%.
you saw Star Wars?
Yeah.
All right.
What are you doing over there?
Steve,
what's
what are you
going on?
texting? You're texting your wife mid-show?
Did you have to update
No.
your Amazon order so they make you send you your Twizzlers all the time?
I can't.
Who are
I,
you texting? Get his phone.
I can't.
It's like in school.
It's on Instagram.
I couldn't drive. I'm trying to get the address so I can have my wife come get me, man. I
Hey.
can't spend a night here.
It's like it's like in school when the kids aren't paying attention. You catch them sending notes.
Like, yeah.
The teacher
That's
grabs
right.
it and reads
Give
it
me
to the
that
class.
That's right.
Give me that text. Honey, I have an idea for a way better show.
I don't want to tell these guys.
He's
He's
sending emails to Ryan Russillo at ESPN for their new podcast
Oh
they're starting.
my goodness.
Not for long.
Here's the
I
thing.
heard about
no,
that.
yeah, Ryan Russillo's moving to
Russillo.
the West Coast to start his own podcast with somebody
Steve.
that's taking all of our ideas.
Steve Huff.
That's
He's
what that notepad's for.
He's been back here.
That's
Oh
what
my
he's doing
gosh.
over there.
That's what the doodles
Man.
are? This whole time you've been
Stephen
pipelining.
Russillo.
No,
Pull yourself
man.
out of here.
Oh,
Dude,
man.
all
Will
right.
yourself out.
Russillo and Huff on ESPN Radio
The Huff Muff Hour.
on the Steve Huff Radio Network.
Oh.
He did warn us.
I only put up with y'all because I love y'all.
And because you can't move because we put your thing over there.
You ain't going nowhere.
You're not going nowhere, Steve. The wheels on that chair are a lot slower.
Oh, God. That is too funny.
Oh, man. So Star Wars The Last Jedi came out last Thursday. And there's a lot of different reactions all over the internet from critics. Critics actually love the movie. I think on Rotten Tomatoes it has
they're
a
right.
93%.
It was a great movie. It was fantastic.
A lot
Yeah, it
of
was.
the fans. There's a lot of fan hate out there. I hope one of us in here is a fan hater because I couldn't get Scott Hell to get in the building because he was a major hater on the movie. He gave it a C-.
What a shock. He's also a
C-.
Cowboy fan and not that smart.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Cowboy
Wow.
Scotty Hell.
Wow.
No Cowboys fans get to say
Wow.
anything about anything.
Wow.
Go support that great human being, Ezekiel Elliott, and stop talking.
We didn't talk about any of the NFL either.
Good.
Oh.
We'll talk about that sometime. There was
Maybe
a lot of
on
plays,
Tuesday.
a lot of questionable calls, and Cowboys
Oh,
barely
God.
won.
Yeah, we sure didn't talk about that questionable
Yeah.
freaking call.
Yeah. Anyway, Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
All right.
All right, Steve, I'm gonna start with you first. What'd you think about the movie overall? Were you happy when you left the theater? And is it something you want to go back and see if you miss some pieces? Do you feel like they put it together good coming off the last episode?
Yes. Yes, and yes. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was great. It's really good to see a good, entertaining family movie. I got a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. I took both of them to see the movie. There was no point in the movie where I thought like, oh, they shouldn't see this. Yet there was still action. There was lightsaber fights. People got blown up. I mean, the movie was awesome. I don't know what people expect to see when they go see Star Wars and they're like, I didn't like it. I thought it sucked. Like, what did you expect to see that this movie sucks so bad. I don't understand that, but I thought it was a great movie. There's a couple things that I can tell, like, okay, Disney owns it now, so some of the jokes that they kind of put in these movies, they're kind of like Disney jokes.
Little Marvel-ish.
Yeah, very, very like, very Marvel-ish, I guess is the word. And but other than that, I mean, really to me, I don't even know if that's a negative because I laughed. I mean, they were still funny, but other than that, I mean, I don't know what people expected to see. It's like, what is this, part 8 of like a 9-part series, which
they'll keep going.
Yeah, and they still got other stories, like little side stories, like Rogue One. Ewoks had a movie years ago.
I still haven't even seen Rogue One.
Oh man,
Ewoks was an ABC movie though.
I never.
Let's not throw that. Let's not throw that.
The Battle for Endor.
Let's not throw that one in there.
But yeah, I mean, it's just there's a whole universe created, and this was back before movie universes were being created. He created an entire universe that we're 30, 40 years later still enjoying, still watching. We just now, really, in the past 10, 15 years, had the technology to actually make the movies
that he even
you know what I mean? Yeah,
make.
that he wanted to make.
That's true.
And so, I mean, I see this movie. I am thoroughly entertained. The story is great. At no point was I just sitting there like, get to the next part, or this is boring. Like it was an amazing movie. I don't know what's wrong with people who. I mean, I get it if you're just not into space stuff or you're not into sci-fi, but I
can
don't
tell you exactly what's wrong.
Not liking it. Yeah,
and real quick, Josh, give us some of the things that you would have liked to see that you didn't see in this movie.
Well, I mean,
because there were some negatives, but
Lando Calrissian, you want to see Lando?
Well, no. well, quickly, just to Steve's point, I think the biggest thing that people don't understand is, 20, 30 years ago now, legitimately, when it's part 2 of the first series, and Luke, I'm your father.
Yeah.
Those kind of moments are gone from society now. Like it's very, very hard, especially now that Star Wars is what it is. Like spoilers are out there. Like I literally before I'm horrible, and you guys are gonna chastise me for this, but I did not know when I was gonna watch it. So I read through, so I got the broad strokes. I got the Wikipedia page, and I did it. But in terms of the movie itself, I'd say probably my only problem, and I'm gonna give a real spoiler, is Layla daggone exploding into space, dying, waking up.
Leia.
Leia, sorry.